don't do the intro anymore. Like, you don't play it in the room?
No, I just let it record and I just start whenever.
Yeah, it's sick. What's up, everybody? It's Jason.
And Bill.
And returning guest.
Hey, it's Nate. Nice to be here in person, guys.
Yeah, back here in person for motherfucking another round of death metal. This week, we got Hypocrisy, we got Arcspire, we got Beyond Creation. We got a lot of different things going on here. And I'm pretty baked.
Big shocker.
All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, man. I'm not just excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about these albums. I think they were all really, really good in their own way. I definitely, had to cram as per usual.
Yeah.
Try to get as much listening in as possible, but it was a blessing, honestly, because I don't know about you guys. I hadn't been listening to too much death metal the last weeks.
Me either.
And it's always funny. Yeah, it's funny when you have to play death metal and write death metal and you never listen to it, which I guess is not that uncommon of a thing. I've heard a lot of people, especially the people that are more productive than I am writing, they never listen to other metal, but it was fucking cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I got rained on a couple times walking around. I like to go on long walks and listen to these records. And there were a couple times I got interrupted by the rain because I didn't want my headphones to get destroyed.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. Yeah. Whew.
What are we starting with?
We're starting with my album.
Okay.
So we're doing Hypocrisy's The Arrival. So I pretty much picked this album. Oh, and you know what? I did want to say before this too was that I have been listening. Just this past weekend, I've been like on a Nile kick, but like the newer records that I don't like, those whom the gods detest and onward, because I'm like, you know what? I don't listen at the gates of Sethu enough, and I don't listen to the one after it enough. So I've been trying to listen to those a bunch, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, Nile's the shit, man.
Yeah, dude, they really are. Even the new album is like so sick.
I would always say they're one of the best live death metal bands. Like, that's why I like their albums. I like pretty much all of them, but just seeing them live, they're otherworldly usually. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw them.
Yeah, they're great. I remember I got to watch them side stage at Mojo's because in the very early days of Warforged, we had a show. We had like a pay-to-play opening show for them.
Got your money's worth. At least Nile played.
Yeah, it was awesome. And there was a lot of people there. It was a cool show. And yeah, it was awesome watching like George Callias from side stage. And it was one of those tours where they were doing like no bands with them. It was like an evening with Nile. So it was like a 2-hour set or whatever. Like a long ass fucking set.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did Carl Sanders have the full guitar rig with the computers and all that jazz? Or no?
I don't remember if there was computers or I want to say yeah, but I don't know. There was a lot going on though.
I got you.
Yeah, and it was really sick. They played Cast on the Heretic, which was awesome to see live.
And that was without Dallas, or that was when
that was with Dallas.
Still, okay.
Yeah, that was like that.
I haven't seen them with whoever the new guy is yet.
I haven't either. I would love to though. But they like toured with like Overkill or something, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Even though I guess
Overkill's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to see Nile with Overkill though.
That's fair.
Well, anyway,
I saw Suicide Silence with Nile one time. Direct support at Metro.
was that with the Faceless?
Yeah, the Faceless played too.
Yeah, wasn't that on Ithaphallic?
It must have been.
Yeah.
I think Warbringer opened too.
Oh, hell yeah.
I remember like there was just this stark divide in like people that were there for the real death metal and people that were there for Suicide Silence. And I remember I was there for Nile, but I was right in front when Suicide Silence played. And I thought they were great. They were awesome live. I was not going to be a snob and just be like, fuck you, I'm too cool for this bullshit. And a lot of people, most of the people that were there for Nile were acting like that. And
yeah,
I mean, in a live setting, a good band is a good band. I don't know. It's not like I came out of there being like the biggest Suicide Silence fan ever, but
I think I only saw Suicide Silence once, and I only watched like a song or two because I was talking with it was a weird show at Mojo's when it was still in Tinley Park, and it was like a tour that was it was like Oceano, Burning the Masses, Conducting from the Grave, and Discreet. And then it was Bury Your Dead and Suicide Silence were also on the show for some reason. And
Bury Your Fucking Dead, dude.
yeah, I didn't watch any of their set. And that was when Mike Terry was still in the band too. And I didn't watch any of their set. And I think I watched, like 2 Suicide Silence songs. But like, I was talking with the dudes for Burning the Masses like that whole night because I thought it was so sick. And yeah.
Yeah, we did Offspring of Time for the last podcast, right?
Yes, we did. I think, that must have been the last one.
Dude, how many times did you guys, one little tangent, and then I'll stop.
Sure.
How many times did you guys ever see a band cover the Bury Your Fucking Dead breakdown? Because there was a time in like around 2006 or so, I feel like local bands around the Chicago suburban area were definitely covering that.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that was probably before my time.
You were like 12 years old, so you weren't allowed to go to shows or play shows.
I wasn't really doing that yet. Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
No, you never saw that? Oh, maybe it's just me then. I mean, in the Small Town Murder days, we played a lot of like the scene shows, young people. I mean, we were not that old, but under 18-year-old bands, like that kind of thing. So. Yeah, I've seen a lot of covers of that. And then, more recently, like within the past decade, a lot of really bad Mastodon covers, just like on tour and stuff.
I remember all the fucking Break Stuff covers I would see all the time.
Speaking of Break Stuff.
It's all about the he said, she said bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, Lacey and I have tickets to the show on Thursday at Metro.
Are you excited?
I'm actually terrified. I'm not even sure if we're gonna go at this point.
Oh shit! Really?
I think we're gonna go and just see what it's like. Yeah, I also have to travel this weekend, so I'm just pretty fucking stressed with vaccinated people I know getting infected with COVID. I really feel like it's maybe not the best time to go and do a bunch of risky stuff, but
yeah,
probably go, wear a mask as much as I can, and just if it sucks, I'll just leave.
Yeah.
And be like, at least we tried it.
Mm-hmm. When are you traveling? This weekend?
Yeah.
When are you leaving?
Friday.
Sick. You excited?
Not really.
Oh. Well. Onward with the show.
Yeah. Bill, what are you doing? What are you doing over there? Looking up The Arrival by Hypocrisy.
Trying to remember everything I remember.
Yo, shout out to Al, by the way, for that like fucking Sick Vital Remains Dechristianized shirt he had on.
Are you like?
Yeah, that was so awesome. I saw that immediately. I was like, God damn it, I wish I was there. Like that's literally the first thought I had. Cause like I love Vital Remains and like I've been wishing they would do a Dechristianized shirt. They haven't. They did an Icons of Evil shirt recently and I got that. But I can't find like for the life of me even like a bootleg Dechristianized shirt. So man,
every once in a while, I'll have a cred.
Yeah, it's a really sick cred shirt. And I love that record. That's one I'm sure I'll do on here eventually. But
I love that episode too. By the way, everybody was nice to Jason, and I enjoyed listening to it. I miss Al and Rick. I haven't seen any of those guys in well over a year, so it was nice to hear them.
Yeah,
Al's doing slightly better.
That's good.
Post accident, but
yeah, that sounded insane.
Recovery,
I mean, you told me what happened to him, but hearing the first hand account, it was just like, whoa, dude. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
It sucks having your car totaled, but holy shit.
Yeah, he hasn't worked at all still.
Shit.
Since it happened, 'cause he's pretty banged up from it. So it's funny because my dad is like Polish as shit, and it's just like, what's going on with Al? Is he gonna work or what? It's like I get that you almost chopped your finger off, but he got hit by a whole car. So like,
yeah,
how about you chill? Plus, it's like, come on, man, like he doesn't need to work that hard.
Yeah.
Let the guy rest.
Loved all the dad stories too.
We all have plenty of them. My dad for sure.
Yeah, it was, Rick's perspective too, just being like, this is exactly the same as when I was working there.
Not much has changed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very sick. Well, shit, dudes, we got some death metal to talk about.
We don't have to,
and we're yeah, I guess we don't.
Can I just go play your drums like dad style? I'll just be like,
yeah,
this is a blast beat.
Yeah, man, go for it.
No, I was just kidding. I don't want to play the drums.
Yeah, that's fair.
My butt's dry. I'm gonna keep it that way.
Yeah, I feel that, man. Hell yeah, my butt's dry too. Knock on wood. And that's real wood. This ain't no IKEA bullshit. You know, see no corkboard bullshit.
Someday we should do an episode of this podcast, or maybe you guys without me, from IKEA. Like somehow you drag Bill to
Just set up real
IKEA
quick.
and record it and see what happens.
I'm good. You just go to any one of my friends' apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah, invite Bill over. We'll bring the table and just talk shit about all your shitty furniture.
All the shitty IKEA.
Yeah.
We could do a couple episodes on that probably.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
But why don't we talk about the
speaking
Arrival?
Speaking of Swedes, dude. Speaking of IKEA.
There you go. That's a segue.
Yeah. We have the Swedish masterminds and Hypocrisy. Who, man, what a, like, it's such a funny, like, oddball pick, I feel like, for me, at least, because, like, it's sort of, they've been, like, one of my reserve bands, because I feel like Hypocrisy overall is, like, a very, like, under-the-radar death metal band. Like, they're kind of known. Some people are like, oh, yeah, I've heard of Hypocrisy. Like, I know you've heard of them. And I remember you've told me you've heard them before. And I think Danny's, like, maybe heard a couple songs. But it's like, you know, like, I know Alex and Max and dudes in Warforged probably haven't really listened to them that much, even though they're, like, a band that has a pretty big fucking catalog. Like, they have a lot of albums out. I mean, like, they're not really doing shit as much as they used to. But I wanted to do this record because we talked about Lindemann so much on the new metal episode. And I wanted you to hear, like, Peter Taktgren's, like, death metal band. And yeah, this is like the prime example of, like, I feel like at least when I got into Hypocrisy, this and the album Virus were like the newest records that were out. And I remember listening to this and just being like, holy shit, this is so fucking sick. And it's like, in reality, it just sounds like European pop songs, like, disguised as death metal songs in certain parts and shit like that. But it's great. And they're just one of those bands that, like, I can still go back to, like, at the age of 29 and listen to and still, like, dig them like I dug them back then. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty sick. Like, there's some cool shit going on here. There's definitely some corny shit, but there's some cool shit too. And I loved it. It was like the Alien vibe. Like, Hypocrisy had the Alien vibe before, like, any fucking, like, before the Faceless, years before that shit.
I did enjoy the Trapper Keeper cover art.
Yeah, did you like that? Very sick. So
clearly made with, like, an old version of Windows, like Paint or something. Like,
It reminds me of the X-Files. That's why I liked it. I was
yeah,
like,
it's such a fucking sick album cover, dude.
like
I
clip
love
art.
it.
That's what it
Yeah.
reminds me of.
They've always had, like, I think, some pretty shot album covers. But that one takes the cake for sure.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they even had guest vocals by the Aliens in, like, the first track in Born Dead, Buried Alive. There's
Yeah.
like, some alien vocal stuff going on.
That's a cool song, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're so, like, I love this record. I think the guitar tone was amazing, or is amazing.
That's awesome. I'm glad you dug it.
Yeah, I mean, I really was, like, trying to guess right away. I'm like, this has got to be, like, in C standard, or, like, maybe drop B or B standard on a 6th string, but it just sounds so in tune. And then going through doing like a little Wikipedia research or whatever about Peter, I'm like, oh, it's a 7 string. That's probably why it sounds so in tune. It's probably just in standard tuning. But I mean, it's not just the technical, like, okay, the tone is good. It's like the playing's great. It has, the hooks are kind of in the guitars, you know, and it's sort of like, from my reference point, I look at it kind of like if At the Gates and In Flames, like early In Flames at least, kind of combined. Yeah. You know, it sounds probably more what I would think of as like an In Flames vibe, with the guitars kind of carrying the melodies of the songs and the choruses and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it, man.
Hell yeah.
I think that Eraser's sick. That was the single.
Yeah, it's a cool song.
Departure was the song that you picked as a single.
Yeah,
right?
I picked that because I feel like that song is, like, one of the weirdest ones on the album. Like, it's almost like a ballad kind of, but
yeah,
not
I was
really.
surprised that, like, it's not the most catchy song on the record.
No, it's not. But it's got, like, that weird, like, singing, screaming chorus. It sounds like ABBA kind of, but not really. It's like, what is going on? I don't know. I really like that song. That's one of my favorites on the record, and I just wanted to pick it because I think it stands out. But yeah, Eraser was a single. I also love Slave to the Parasites. I think that song fucking rips.
Is it a fully formed concept? I didn't really read the lyrics.
The album? No, I don't think so. I think it's just like a record. I'm not sure. At least there's no information that I've seen about it that leads that it's a concept. I think it's just like generally about kind of like aliens, because they were doing like they did like a Roswell record before. They had been doing a bunch of alien shit, I guess.
Okay.
So it'd been running with their vibe. But I don't think it's a concept record. And I want to say, I don't think that band has ever done a concept record as far as I know. But they've been like coming back kind of and doing this like old school thing. And I noticed that now they're currently, at least it looks like they're playing some festivals in Europe and shit over this summer, or at least they were slated to, if those actually end up going through, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah, but I actually saw this band live.
Did you really?
On February 9th, 2004. I looked it up.
Whoa.
With my stepbrother Alex. Yeah, our parents that are now married, they were dating at the time, dropped us off at House of Blues. Cannibal Corpse was the headliner. So they're the only band I had heard of. And it was Vile, Exhumed, and then Hypocrisy and Cannibal Corpse. And I wasn't sure. I had to look it up. I was like, I think I saw them, but I was so young. It was
Vile opened?
Yeah, it was this second metal show I'd ever seen. The first one I think was Dead to Fall on the Tomb Buried in Me a year or two before that.
Dude, if you had bought like a Vile shirt at that show and like still had it in good condition, you could probably flip it for a lot of money.
I didn't think about I didn't even know buying merch was a thing probably at that point in my life.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, what I do remember, which is not a lot, I believe that was my first time at the House of Blues. Yeah. And it was, like I said, definitely one of my first metal shows. And being a relatively young teen, I think I was 15, turning 16 that year. It was a little scary for sure. Like the older death metal dudes and like.
Sure.
I mean, I remember Hypocrisy just being so much more melodic than any of the other bands.
Yeah.
And I remember the guitar when Cannibal Corpse played was so loud it hurt my head.
Damn.
It's like that's all I remember about the show.
Are you not wearing earplugs?
No, I definitely wasn't. Albeit I was definitely not that close. I was probably like right underneath the balcony.
Dude, do you remember Summer Slaughter in 2008 at the House of Blues?
Was that a Black Dahlia Murder headline?
Yeah,
that
that was the first time they headlined.
Okay, then yeah.
Yeah, and Vader played. I was like right in front of the PA and like did not have earplugs, and they were so loud. It was like so fucking loud.
Yeah, I've done that at House of Blues before for probably another Black Dahlia Murder show. And it's not quiet, but it's not like head explode loud usually.
Yeah, well, my head did explode, boys. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot for a youngin', but I was like 16, so I didn't give a shit. But that's sick, man. I wish I saw Hypocrisy. I almost did, but they played here on, it was either a Thanksgiving or an Easter one year. It was like right after, like, I think I was in high school. It might have been like 2009 or 2010. And they came here. They were doing a headliner off of their album Extreme Taste in Divinity or whatever the fuck it's called.
Great album title.
Yeah. And I think I butchered it. I think it's Extreme Taste of Divinity or something like that. But it was like them, that Polish death metal band, Hate, Scar Symmetry. It was like a sick lineup. I think Neuraxis was on it. It was like an awesome show, and I wanted to go so bad, but my family had some obligation that we had to attend to instead, and it was at Reggie's. And then they came through, I want to say, with Arsis at some point on another headliner that I didn't go to for some reason. Damn. Yeah. But I think Arsis might have bailed on the tour.
Yeah, I always tried to catch Arsis ever since the first time I saw him. It was like such a mind-blowing experience. They opened for Necrophagist at Logan Square, probably in 2005 or 6.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, as much as the lineup in the band now is pretty good, it never really did it for me. Any other time I saw him, I was just like, the magic is just gone, like whatever they had at that time.
Yeah.
Maybe it was me, you know?
Maybe.
I've heard when you cut your hair, you suck at metal. I don't know. You guys wouldn't know anything about that. I wouldn't know anything about that, but Yeah. I always think about that. Is that a thing? I mean, if I cut my hair, I feel like I would have to practice way more and try way fucking harder to still be good at metal.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like it's stupid. It's a construct.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, at least I can look really metal and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
people that aren't musicians, they don't know what's going on most of the time. But if you look like a dork, they'll be like give you like extra scrutiny. Like, what's this guy doing up there?
True.
You guys gave me a look. You got to say something.
So what did
man.
you think of it? What did you think of this album?
It was cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
Because I'm like all in on this dude, Peter,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
Tagrin?
How you pronounce
Toddgren? Something like that?
Toddgren?
Yeah, I think so.
Tagrin.
Yeah, because I like found out about this guy because of Lindemann, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I love those albums with him on there, and
Yeah.
and then I was like, I went back and listened to Pain because he has like a new single out that's fucking awesome, Party in My Head.
I heard it. Yeah, it's sick.
It's awesome. The video is
Yeah.
great too.
It is a good
It's really
video.
funny. His son's in it.
I know.
funny,
Yeah,
yeah.
really cool.
His son drums for Lindemann, which is cool.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
cool.
when they do it, if you watch the live video, it's his son playing drums.
Oh, that's sick.
I guess they have a project that they're working on.
Yeah, I read that he's actually out of Lindemann and him and his
Yeah,
son are
he
working
left.
on music.
Which is a fucking bummer. But then again, I don't know. Till has his new solo project, Till Lindemann, which
Yeah.
sounds not
Sick.
too dissimilar from
Yeah.
Lindemann.
And that one song is awesome.
I Hate Kids or whatever.
Yeah, that song's really
it's a
sick.
that video. Did you watch
Video's
the
cool.
movie?
No, I didn't, but
It's
I will.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I didn't get the memo on this. I listened to the episode where you talked about Rammstein, but I didn't get the required listening for this episode, apparently. That's fine.
That's all right.
Next time.
We'll probably do Lindemann for like the free for all episode, depending
Sick.
on who we have. But
That'll be cool.
yeah, no, and then so it was only natural that eventually I'd listen to Hypocrisy, and I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. This sounds like that dude. Like, even
Yeah.
though this is like a collaborative effort, right? It's not just him,
Yeah, it's not just him.
Right.
I mean, it's his band, but I think
but
he
you can
writes,
hear the influence.
Yeah,
that
and I
is,
think
like,
he writes
that
all the
guy.
music. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like his brainchild, that band. Because he did that, and then a couple of the guys from Hypocrisy did a black metal band called like The Abyss that did a couple records.
I
And
just
the,
watched that movie recently.
The Abyss, sick. I don't think I know it.
It's awesome. Ed
Is it-
Harris,
Ed Harris, really?
yeah,
Sick.
Michael Bain.
Shit.
It's
Michael
on
Bain.
Amazon Prime. Check it out.
Maybe I will. Damn,
It's
dude.
an awesome movie from the 80s, but anyway.
I still gotta finish Freeway.
It's
with
better
Kiefer
than
Sutherland.
It's better
dude.
than Arrival with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
I would say. As far as
Arrival.
alien movies go.
Yeah, at least
it's
you're bringing
better.
it back to the album we were talking about.
Yeah, The Arrival.
Somebody has to be professional. But yeah, no, I don't know, listening to it was fun because then I hear like a lot of the stuff that like In Flames is definitely.
Oh yeah, big time.
I like it so much more than In Flames, though. It's like the album.
Really?
Like, it's just the level of melodicism, I think. In Flames maybe takes it a little. It's like a further higher level of melodicism in the death metal that
Yeah.
I don't necessarily hate, but it just I prefer this much more. Like
See,
this,
I'm the
whatever this
opposite.
level
I like
is.
In Flames more.
Yeah, I think I do too, but I don't know. One day I will do like a classic In Flames album for a death metal episode for sure. Like that'll definitely happen.
Do an all In Flames episode.
But yeah, I mean when I discovered Hypocrisy, I was already like way into like all the bands I liked were like European bands. It was like In Flames, Soilwork, At the Gates, The Haunted. I liked Amon Amarth, and I remember I was like obsessed with Children of Bodom. They were like my favorite band like when I was like in high school and shit. And I remember
They're from Finland, but close enough.
yeah, but I remember reading like Peter Tochtgren produced, I want to say he produced Follow the Reaper and Hate Breeder by Children of Bodom, and I ended up discovering Hypocrisy through Children of Bodom. That's how I was like turned on to them.
Cool.
And because I remember I was watching some like YouTube video, or it was when MySpace tried to do like a video platform for a little bit, and somebody uploaded like a Children of Bodom DVD to it. Remember like back when, like in 2004 through 2008, where bands would put out DVDs?
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
I
have
loved
a ton
it.
of them.
Yeah, like Black Dahlia, Kill Switch, Lamb of God, like and almost any band you
You
could
get
think
to
of,
a certain level with your record label,
Yeah.
it seemed like it was an obligation. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know if it fulfilled a record on the contract or if it didn't, and the record label
I
was
don't
just
think
like,
so.
we're just going to pay
Unless it had, like, a live-
$500 and film one of your shows, or however. I'm sure it was way more money than that for most of those bands. And some of them, though, there's some bad ones. Like either like Early Shadows Fall. I can't remember now. They're one of those like big new wave of American heavy metal bands has a really, really shitty one. Like the Killswitch one is like overproduced. That's like super good. The Set This World Ablaze.
That one's awesome.
That was my favorite, but it's kind of fake. You know, like you can kind of tell there's a little bit of funky stuff going on, but it looks really good and sounds really good. So who cares?
I'm gonna grab another drink. I'll be right back. Do you need one or do you have yours?
I'm good.
Cool.
Thank you. But yeah, you were talking about DVDs for some reason?
Yeah,
no.
Jason discovered Hypocrisy through
Thank you for.
a Children of Bodom DVD that was uploaded to MySpace. You said that.
I don't remember any MySpace like video. Like,
that might have been when it started to decline a bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Maybe it was when it was a really, really big thing. Because I feel like MySpace was really big at least until 2007 or 8.
Yeah, it was like
maybe longer.
An option to search for videos like that bands uploaded and shit like that, or just people uploaded. Like when you could search for photos.
It's like pre-YouTube.
And I remember some like, I think a European account just like uploaded like the DVD as a video. And that's how I ended up watching it, where I ended up seeing the history that Hypocrisy ended up taking them out on tour with like Benediction or something. So it was just cool. I don't know. And that's how I discovered Hypocrisy. And then I dove into their catalog, and they have a lot of records and a lot of shit I still haven't even heard from them. But I have a few of their CDs, and they're like a nuclear blast band, like I think for most of their career, which is cool. So like, I don't know. I remember my uncle used to work at Borders when I was like in like early high school.
Yeah, you've said that on this podcast before.
Yeah, and he would get CDs for me. Like he could special order them, you know, and he would get them for me. I'd just pay him the money, whatever it was. And I had him order me the newest Hypocrisy album, which was Virus at the time. And that album's really sick too. It's the one after this. But it came with like a bonus DVD that had like the recording of the record and music videos and shit. It was really sick. And yeah, it was just cool. Like it was an awesome experience back then. Cause like I loved that type of like, that was like my shit, was like melodic death metal like this. I loved Hypocrisy, In Flames, Soilwork. Like I couldn't get enough of that. And this was really before I was into shit like
Black Dahlia Murder.
Yeah, Black Dahlia and Arsis and stuff like that. And Behemoth and Nile. Like it was like right like around that whole era, I was just kind of like falling into all this shit. And but I also like Killswitch and shit like that too. But like Hypocrisy, I always feel like it's just been a band that really is like, you don't hear them talked about a lot. Like not a lot of people talk about them. I don't really know what their state of relevancy really is as a band that much anymore. But you know, I think they've always had a really big following in Europe, or at least a bigger following in Europe than here. But I've always thought that was cool. Like that they've still been able to like put out cool records whenever they fucking feel like it. And you know, I don't think they're done. I think they're doing another album, which would be sick to hear. But yeah, this album, it's just like such a perfect example of like melodic death metal. It's like you have songs that are like more like rooted in death metal, and then you have songs that are way more rooted in like melodies, which is so sick and such a cool variation. And it's like a fun record, and it's not too long. Like it's only like what, 10 songs?
Yeah, I agree with it being fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the production as a whole, I really loved. Like it's pretty organic sounding. It's pretty real. Like it sounds like a band, even though it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they didn't play live that often. I don't know if they had 2 guitars. I would assume they probably did a 2 guitar thing, or at least to have a separate keyboardist. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I kind of was upset with myself listening to this record because, like I said, I saw them live, probably touring on it. Wasn't really into metal yet. I was just sort of starting to dip my toes into, especially extreme metal. I think at that point I was kind of, I like Iron Maiden, I like old Metallica, I like Slayer, I like Dead to Fall. That was like it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, starting to see more and more extreme stuff. Obviously, I got roped into some of the early 2000s kind of metalcore stuff as an entry into more extreme heavy stuff. And nobody ever talks about this band. Everybody was all about At the Gates, and I love At the Gates. I mean, but it was just like, for the big influence on that sound, it was like At the Gates, In Flames, maybe Soilwork, definitely Soilwork actually, but nobody was ever like, yeah, I wanted to start a band that sounded like Hypocrisy with breakdowns. At least I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, I never heard of anybody talking about that.
But it must have happened, and I'm just like, damn, if I would have heard this at that age, it might have really influenced the direct. Because I mean, when I wrote stuff with my colleagues in Small Town Murder in that era, I mean, I definitely always wanted to kind of inject the melodic death metal style riffs. Yeah. Not everybody was always on board for it, and I think maybe it was my vocabulary. You know, my vocabulary wasn't as expanded to do the kind of stuff. So, oh well, you can't get it back. The music's still here. We can listen to it now. And Bill, I actually wanted to ask you if you had to guess. And I don't know. I didn't look this up. But if you had to guess, what amp do you think they used on this record?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
It's a very squishy tone.
I was just thinking it's either a boosted rectifier or an unboosted 5150. And that's probably more likely what it is.
Probably a 5150.
Yeah. I don't know. I that's just what my ears were telling me listening to it. I really have no actual clue, but yeah, probably 5150 of some kind. I don't know. I think about that when I'm listening to recordings all the time, to the point where sometimes, especially with the more techie stuff, I'm like, this isn't an amp, but who cares?
Yeah.
Now it's all amp sims. So there you go.
Not necessarily all of it, but yeah, a lot of it is.
Or a mixture.
Do you think you guys will listen to other Hypocrisy albums?
I definitely want to. Like I said, I was a little bit crunched for time with getting all these three in, so I didn't check out much of their other discography, but I will.
Sick. What about you?
Probably not because it's them. It's just music in general.
Yeah, I know. It's just funny. Probably not.
It has nothing against them. It's just it's all music.
That's funny. Yeah, that's fair.
Who knows?
Sick
Maybe,
band, though. Yeah, and cool album.
I'd be more inclined to check it out now.
Yeah, I think I was 14 when I discovered this record, so I was pretty young.
When did this band form?
Like, I want to say in the early 90s. Let me see. This album was 2004, but they started in 91.
That's crazy.
The year I was born.
It makes sense, though. I mean, listening to the way it sounds.
Yeah.
I know it's from 2004.
Their first album, Penetralia, came out in 92.
That's a sick title.
Yeah. And then, yeah, the last album, which was End of Disclosure, came out in 2013. So,
also curious to see what other stuff that guy has like produced and engineered.
Yeah, he's done a lot of shit. He's done like my favorite Belphegor record. I want to say he's done a bunch of records.
He did this record. He's a producer, so
yeah.
I mean, I feel like it sounds great.
I think he does all their shit, but
especially for the time. I mean, it's a little bit modern production. Like, you know, sounds pretty big. The drums have like, there's a little bit of sample action going on in there, but it's really subtle.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like American metalcore from that time. That's for sure. It doesn't sound like super quantized. It sounds pretty real.
Yeah, it's fair.
I'm getting to that point now. I have to start talking about quantization in guitar tracks, which I didn't think I'd have to get to, but it's been an issue with drums forever. It's like now people are doing it with guitars all the time.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck? We can't live in a world like this.
You can. It sometimes sounds great. I mean, I don't know, but you have to sort of say that, and it's strange to me.
Yeah. Well, shall we segue into our next record?
Yes. Can I take a quick break though?
Yeah, pee break.
Yes, I was just, you know, I need to go cry for a second. I'll be
okay.
Pick a corner.
Have fun crying, kid.
Whoa.
He's okay. So what's new with you?
Jack shit.
Yeah.
I had the weekend off and I started working on the Capsized album.
Nice.
Shits and giggles. I was just like, I wanted to mix something, and we have a song, one of the last songs we wrote, where it's more of like what the band would have turned into but didn't. because we quit, and I just was like, oh, I wonder if I can mix this better than what I did previously, which anything is better than what I did before, which was like almost 10 years ago. And mixed it pretty quick. I didn't do anything too crazy, and I used all the original recordings. I didn't reamp anything. I didn't trigger drums at all. I just used what I had.
Sick.
And that was kind of a good challenge because it wasn't recorded very well because I just didn't know better.
Sure.
Back then. And but no, it all came together really, really, really well and relatively quick. And I was like, all right, maybe this isn't that bad. And I ended up sending it to all the old band members, minus Mike, because I don't know where he's at anymore.
You don't have like a contact?
No, the running gag is his sleeper cell finally called and told him he's got to get back to work. But yeah, no, I sent it to everybody, and it was funny. Everybody was just like, holy shit, I can't believe this is the same song. I was like, I know, it sounds more like how I wanted it to sound, where you can hear all the samples and stuff going on, and like how like the choruses like are big and the verses where they need to be, and the drums are super fucking tight, and like the guitars and drums or the guitars and bass sound really good. And I was like, oh wow, look at that, I don't totally suck at this thing. So that's been fun. So then I was like, I'm gonna double back and maybe look at the rest of the tracks. And then I started thinking, well, the drums are recorded probably the worst out of all of them, and not necessarily bad, but like not necessarily great. So then I was like, you know what? Everything's to a click. Everything's to the grid. So I ended up just implementing Superior Drummer and just copying the drums from originally, and then adding like a few things here and there.
That's awesome.
So that's been kind of fun. It's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
It's like
are you gonna do
rewriting
anything with it?
No, probably not. Jack was like, well, our 10 years coming up. I was like, yeah, no, nobody cares. This is more for me.
That's funny.
You redid Capsize stuff with Superior Drummer?
I started to.
Dude, send me some of that shit. Send us some of it. I want to hear it.
I'll send you the one.
Yeah, I
would
love to hear it.
I was just telling Jason I was bored over the weekend and I wanted to like mix something. And I dredged up the old tracks that we recorded over 10 years ago, if not longer than that, I think. And I just went through it, remixed it like how I mix now as opposed to how I did back then.
Yeah, you've gotten a little better.
A little bit better, yeah. So yeah, when I sent it all to the old members, they were like, holy shit. They're like, this sounds so good. I was like, yeah, this is all the original tracking. Like, I didn't change anything yet. And that's fun. I got to do that. Was it the EQ trick on the guitars, which is awesome.
The Andy Sneap pull tech trick?
Yeah.
That actually works?
Yeah. The one we were fucking with here was the wrong one. There was like another one.
Use a different fake pull tech.
I have so many plugins that there's like a hidden section when you open up the plugins menu, and I was like, it's got to be in there somewhere, because I forgot what the trick was, so I had to like re-look it up again. And what's his name, Glenn Fricker or whatever, has a great breakdown of like how to do it.
You just like
plugins. You don't cup the mic.
You like boost 30 hertz all the way up, right? And even though you're rolling it off,
the settings have to be like just right. And like I'm looking at his, I was like, why does his like plugin look totally different than mine? Like, what the fuck's going on? That's when I discovered. I was like, oh, I have a hidden plugin here, so I had to like bust that out. And it's weird how that works. Like, I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's just
I don't get it, but it works.
You can hear it. You can go, oh, it sounds cool. You know?
Yeah, it just gives like this extra like mid-range grit definition that
makes no sense because there's no frequency information on 30 hertz on the guitars.
Right.
And even then, you're rolling it off after the fact, right? Like you boost it up, and then you roll whatever, if there's any shelf frequencies, you're just getting rid of them. And you still get the effect of the coloration of the equalizer on the mid-range, and it just sounds cool. It's fucking weird.
It makes no sense, but it's a fun little trick that I'll probably be doing until I die or find something better.
Nice.
But it's been fun, like mixing more and more, and like mixing our stuff is a lot of fun. Like I love doing it, and like
I'm glad you enjoy it because it sounds cool, and it makes the whole like demoing process a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, right. Like it makes you want to listen to them more. Like I would just throw it on going to work and back from work and just listen to it and listen.
Yeah,
to
and you're thinking about the songs too. Like I mean, I know Danny's been working on some some vocals, as we say in the business.
Yeah, the stuff he was doing sounded really fucking good. I was pretty happy with it. It seems like he's pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
so.
that's cool.
That's the ultimate goal here, you know. And then I don't know if you guys noticed, but I played bass on this last one.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I haven't listened to it yet because I was listening to these records, dude.
I haven't
was
listened to
wondering
him
why
yet either.
nobody has said anything. Like,
I haven't listened to him
How
yet.
come
I haven't
there's
listened to him
bass
yet
on this?
either. Yeah.
I was like waiting for somebody to be like, "Who the fuck's playing bass?"
You seriously? Did you play a drop C bass or
Yeah.
what? Did you? Just, okay.
I had the same bass I used for the something.
Hell
Is Waiting
yeah,
stuff.
that's awesome, dude.
You played on every song.
Boo, crush
I
dude.
just did one pass through real quick, and if it was a bad enough fuck up, I just went back and redid it real quick.
Yeah.
I tried not to.
Did you even
overdo it.
write parts, or you're just like,
Nah,
I
I,
know
like,
this song
fucked
goes on
around.
guitar. I'll just see what happens.
No, I just fucked around and like
awesome.
did my.
Oh fuck, dude! I
versions
can't
of
wait to
it.
listen to it now. I'm
I was
gonna
wondering
listen
what
to it.
happened because nobody said anything. I was like, "What the fuck?" Even
That's
Danny, who
hilarious.
did hear it,
I've
was
listened
like,
to other versions. I just haven't listened to the
the
ones we did
newest.
this
Okay,
week.
because even Danny mentioned that he was like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "I like what I was doing vocally on here." Didn't say anything about bass. I was like, "What? Did you think Franco magically appeared?"
That's
awesome.
so funny. Yeah, I definitely didn't listen to it, but I didn't want to come here and be like, yeah, it sounds sick, you know? But I didn't hear it at all.
Well, I mean,
so
for
that
the-
is really funny.
For the listeners,
I could've
we've
got ya.
been lucky enough that we've been able to record our practices live pretty much every week.
Yeah, which is
And
sick.
Yeah,
so,
it's been fun, like,
you know,
every time.
if Jason and I end up a week or two behind because we were listening to music for this podcast, I feel like we should be forgiven. But I'll
Yeah.
definitely check it out. I mean, yeah, it's shitty. It's our music. We should be listening to it.
Yeah, I was cramming too because I know the Arcspire and Beyond Creation records somewhat well, because I listened to those a lot when they came out.
yeah, Arcspire I know really well. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why I picked it too. I'm running
Dude,
out.
it was
I'm
a great
running out
pick.
of, like, death metal.
Can I just tell you?
Probably gonna pick another Arcspire one after this.
Initially, Bill, when you said that, I was like, really? But I'm so fucking happy that you did.
Wait, is it there? Is it? Are we talking about this album? Which album?
I mean, I believe
Yeah,
it's
you're-
that's
oh.
yeah. After
Go
I
on.
took the break and we were just kind of talking.
Yeah,
no, it's your record.
Relentless Mutation.
If you want to introduce it, I was just saying, I really, really thoroughly
Jason got
enjoyed
I'm
re-listening
sorry.
to it.
I didn't mean to bogart it from you.
Wait, was there ever a period of time where you weren't into this?
No, but I would say that when it came out, I didn't listen to it as much as maybe I should have. Like, it was one of those things where I was really, really excited to hear what they would, their collaboration with Otero would sound like compared to the previous, was the Lucid Collective, the one before.
Who engineered that?
I'm not sure, but it's not a bad sounding record. It's
No,
just,
not at all.
there's certain, actually it sounds really, in my opinion, really good for this style too, but there's certain strangeties about the production. Like, there's delay on a lot of the pinch harmonics, which is actually really interesting because it's unique. I know we're talking about an album that we didn't
No,
choose,
that's okay. But I wish I knew somebody in that band to ask them what the fuck's up with that? What's up with the delay on the fucking pinch harmonics? Why?
It's interesting though.
It is
It's
interesting.
unique. Maybe it was the
But it's
producer's
almost
idea.
like every time there's a pinch harmonic.
Yeah, I know it rings out. You're
It's
like, what
very bizarre.
what's going on here?
And I can't remember if they did that live or not. Because it's such a fast part whenever they do that shit that it's
Yeah.
when you're like, did it happen? It's too late. There's already
Too
a
much
million
coming
snare
at you,
hits,
yeah.
and bass drum hits.
Sick band though, honestly. I can't deny that this record is really sick. It's just
so
good.
good. It's so
fucking
fucking
awesome,
good.
man.
It's a great follow up.
Yeah, it's just you know what, dude? Because this is a band that obviously doesn't come out with records every 2 years. You know, there was a chunk between then and now, and obviously they have a record in the can now, which I think is coming out
It
this
should be
year.
like any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because they got a European tour with Rivers coming up, where they're co-headlining. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So I think I don't know. It's just this record isn't really long. How many? It's 8 songs.
I think
or
it's
7 songs.
Yeah, it's 7
That's
songs, 30
fuck,
minutes.
That's we have 7 songs.
It doesn't, but it doesn't feel short because the amount of notes they play in 7 songs.
You get a lot of quality here. There's not a lot of
bang
filler.
for your buck here,
Dude, I think
Yeah.
every song is a banger. That's
Yeah.
what I said.
And every song is
I think
catchy, too.
I would listen to it. I'd put it on, listen to a few songs, space out, whatever. I think when it first came out, I didn't do a lot of dedicated listening. I listened to the singles and we're like, this is great. The album came out. I was just like, damn, they did a great job. I'll see them live. They're with technical death metal. I'm like that most of the time. And obviously for the last year and change, I haven't really seen technical death metal live. So I'm much more like, oh yeah, this is a great representation of their vision. The single that you picked, was it Human Murmuration?
Yeah, I love that song.
Fucking
That riff
great.
is the best riff ever.
Great song. And it's honestly like one of their slower ones on the record. Which for anybody that for anybody that
so sick,
thinks
dude.
that I mean slow, I don't mean slow. I just mean it's slow for this
that.
band.
Yeah,
It's
like
still
everything is
ripping.
Yeah,
It's still
everything
so
is a
fucking
16th
fast.
note.
And it has that same.
It's like the fastest sick groove though. It's like an awesome groove, but it's so fast and crazy. It's like, Jesus, guys. Like, they're really going for it and they do a good job of it, you know? Like, it's fun. It's nice. And it's cool. It's creative. It's like Rings of Saturn to me sometimes is like, and I'm not trying to throw any shade, but it's just like sometimes I'm like, okay, guys, I get it. You know, cool your jets here. But like Arcspire, I always find like the fun in it. Or at least it's easier for me too when I listen to that band.
So fun.
Fair enough.
I agree.
They're so sick. Man, Human Murmuration is such a fucking ass beater, dude.
It's so good.
Yeah. There's
So
a lot of great songs.
I think my favorite song on the record it's probably a tie between two, but one of the ones I wanted to talk about is that song Mimic Well, because
Yeah.
it is so fucking fast. It's a lot of gravity blasts. It's just, it starts with an insane drum fill. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And there is, it's, I don't know why it's called Mimic Well exactly. And I'm sure if it's in
There's
the
a really
concept.
crazy concept to this record that I don't know.
It has, but one of the riffs has this cool kind of guitar left-right trade thing where they're playing the same riff, but they separate for the first part of it and then they meet up, and like that's something that I always enjoy, the little details. I mean, the guitar playing overall in this band and on this record,
Their composition's awesome.
so
Yeah, it's outstanding.
classical influence for
Right.
sure.
And
The
sick
solos are like,
DMX fucking machine gun rap, dude.
oh dude, Calamus will animate. I wish we could play a clip of that, because if people are good, I mean, that's the one you should have
Yeah.
picked to be like, listeners, just listen to Calamus will animate, and you'll hear a fucking, I don't know what kind of gun it is. I know that like,
You could look it up online. They have a video
I'm
of
sure,
them.
yeah,
With
like
David
I know
Otero.
Dave like took him shooting and all that stuff.
It's so sick. I love when bands do machine gun shit. Like when War from a Harlot's Mouth did that breakdown. I
I think it would have been
So
cooler
cool.
if it was just him, no gunfire.
Into the Mode had a machine gun part.
But it did,
didn't
but it was the
copy
intro to a
part.
breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was
And
sick.
it was
still
just like
sick.
it was an album about being at war, and so it makes
I
sense,
feel like
or going
that
to war.
had to be like the genesis of the. Why don't we just
Maybe
make the
I never asked Dave if he
breakdown,
ever even listened to Into the
like
Mo.
I'm sure it was such a. I mean, I think that was a big band, right?
Into the Mode?
Yeah.
I think relatively. Like I don't
band's
know
so
how big they
fucking
were.
good.
But like they were like big enough to be like opening for sick tours probably. But I don't really know. Like
I don't
they
even know if
kind of came
did
and
that
went.
well.
I think they were well regarded. It was like one of those things. They got to that level where it was like, if you know, then you know. And they did a few tours, but only a few, and then they stopped doing it.
Yeah.
They broke
Fair
up for a while, and then they still made another album, and I don't think they ever toured on it. So it was like,
Yeah.
sad story. Lots of great bands from that era never really went as far as they could have. I always think about
Yeah.
Psyopus and how like if Psyopus started in 2010 instead of like 2003 or whatever, maybe people would want much more widely appreciate that band, especially people that like
Yeah.
Arcspire.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's different. It's more avant-garde. It's more like closer to like a grindy hardcore thing with insane guitar playing. But I think that they were ahead of their time.
Yeah, definitely.
Arcspire might have been a little ahead of their time, but they definitely stuck it out and are just now experiencing the fruits of their
Their
hard
labor,
work.
yeah.
I mean, so Bill, I feel like we've talked over you a lot, but
Fine,
I
I'm
mean,
used to it.
do you?
My show.
What's your favorite shit about this record? Because I mean, I think
Sorry.
I can talk all day about how I love that they're a real band. They all write in the same room together. Like, it's not one person writing anything, even though this music sounds like it maybe would be. Everyone in their democracy, like everyone in the band has veto power on any riff.
Yeah.
So if you spend 8 million hours writing a riff and you bring it to practice, and I'm like, I don't think it's good, then it doesn't get used, and that's like their ethos. At least that's what they say publicly.
Really? That's
Yeah.
That's wild.
Jesus.
We would never get a single
No
song
wonder it
done.
took them so
like
long
maybe
to,
we
like,
would, but
write an album.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how many songs is on this next one.
And it's so fucking fast. I'm just like,
yeah.
How do you show everybody riffs in the band? I mean, I guess you can play it slower. But like, it makes me want to show up to a practice and just be like, got this riff. Can you got that? Just you're gonna be like,
I don't like it. You got another one?
I remember hearing something like a podcast or some interview that the drummer did once, like after the first record came out, and he said that like, you know, they would practice the songs at slower tempos and build them up.
What's slower for them is probably like, we're gonna
Still
practice
fast.
it at 290 instead of 320, and then we'll work our way up. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, they rip, man. And like, I've heard plenty of people. I won't name names, but I've heard plenty of people talk shit and be like, yeah, it's not really 320. It's really just this. And it's like, okay, guys, it's still really, like, you go out there and fucking
Like,
do it.
I mean,
you know?
I feel like if you've seen this band live, you really can't talk shit about them unless you don't like the vocals. But that's like any death metal band.
Yeah.
You know? People will
Although
be
they
like,
were kind of rough at that last time I saw them with Obscure with you guys. Well, with you.
so that was
We went to your
that
birthday.
was on Bill's 22nd
bailed.
birthday a couple years ago. You were we
My what?
22nd.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, we were at it. We were at the show. And honestly, it was at the Forge.
Yeah.
You know, formerly Mojo's, now the Forge. I hate the way that room sounds. It sounded so
That's a
bad.
rough room.
Yeah.
Beyond Creation, actually, I wasn't going to bring it up, but I've only seen them twice, and one of them was that same show. And I love the shit out of that band. That's why I chose the album. And I didn't even think they sounded good.
That's a tough room. Like,
I mean, In Fury, too. In Fury, I also think is great. It just, every band sounded bad. I really wonder if the listeners can hear this band. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Okay, because usually your microphone rejection's pretty good. I can make, like, if no one's talking, I can kind of hear it. But this band has been really going for
Fucking
it
ripping
with
it.
the white stripes and like I don't even know who this song is by.
I think it's Wolf Mother.
No.
I think it's what's that band that sounds like Led Zeppelin now?
Greta Van Fleet?
Yeah, I think it's them.
No. Someone maybe can hear it and they'll know.
Dude, I love how
It's a big
everybody
song.
just like shits all over that band. Like, I think Gobo made a
he posted something at the bottom.
yeah,
Like, you
it
have to
was
make a
so
reference to ice
funny
and something.
Yeah, Ice and Snow lyric. He's like, band claims doesn't sound like Led Zeppelin, makes Ice and Snow lyric, and it's like, yeah, damn, dude, that's really funny.
That's another one of those weird bands I don't get where, like, there's so many more people I know that hate that band than like
Yeah.
it, but that band's huge.
But isn't that problematic? Like, you don't have to love that band. You don't have to say they're great. But the fact that everyone goes out of their way to just
Talk
say
about
how much they suck, that's like why no rock bands are huge, or no, you know, in like the classic rock and roll style. It's like you get a bunch of teenagers who are basically trying to sound like they're Zeppelin, whatever. It doesn't have to be your favorite band, but why do you have to go out of your way to shit on it? Like, I don't care. Like,
yeah, I don't care either way.
if they won a Grammy over my band, then I'd be like, fuck those guys. But
Have they won a
I
Grammy?
don't think that's gonna happen. I think they were nominated.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm just saying, other than that, it's like, why do I need to lose sleep over that band existing? At least they have a guitar player.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't give a fuck at the end of the day. I don't think I've ever heard a Greta Van Fleet song. It's hard to even, I'm so high, it's so hard to say that name, Greta Van Fleet. But like, I don't think I've ever heard that song.
I think I saw like a minute of a song on SNL. I was like, I'm good. I get
Yeah.
it. But not for me.
Yeah, no thank you.
I don't even like the bands that they're ripping off that much.
How do we get to Greta Van Fleet from Arcspire?
I don't know, but I also want to know, what are your guys' favorite ice cream flavors?
Oh God,
How high are
probably
you
chocolate
right now?
chip cookie dough. I think might be my favorite.
Really? It's
I mean,
a classic.
I couldn't even tell you the last time I ate ice cream, but yeah, that's up there.
What about you?
Anything with peanut butter. So anyway, Arcspire. One thing that popped in my head is you mentioned cutting your hair makes you lose metal, like your ability to play
Yeah, they're
metal.
all overcompensating.
guys are
all bald. And they fucking rip.
So Toby, well, the bass player Jared is not bald.
Oh, that's true. He has
Drummer
long hair
Spencer
now.
is not bald. I know Toby, the one who doesn't get as much press because he doesn't have a huge internet following.
Doesn't have a YouTube channel.
He's bald by choice. He can grow hair, but he chooses
Yeah.
to
What a
shave it.
motherfucker. Does he do it in solidarity for Dean?
I don't think so. I think he just, I don't know. He probably, and this is totally just me making this up, and he'll never listen to this. He probably got laid once, and some girl was like, I love it. And he's just like, yep, shaving my head forever.
That's it. It works. That's all I need.
Sick, man. We need to make that happen with Danny. Have him shave his head and get banged, like get fucked real good. And then like he'll be like, yeah, I'll do this all the time.
Well, he did it that one time, but we're not going to talk about that.
know.
So anyway.
Oh no, we can't. But it's
but yeah, this album is just so well rounded. Like there's so many good songs. Fucking Remote
what's
Tumor
the worst
Seeker
song?
is so sick.
I don't even think there is a bet. Like, what's the worst?
I don't
song?
know. I will say I think the clean part in the beginning of the title track is a little like extra, like especially that like every drum note is like a flam or like a double.
Yeah, if we're gonna get to the dark side of this band, that drives me insane. The amount of random double kick that happens in a lot of Arcspire songs and like clean parts specifically. But I will say, I wrote that down. The Mimic Well, there's a clean part where that doesn't happen. And it stood out to me. It's just a straightforward drum beat. And I was like, what? This sounds so cool. I didn't even think this could happen with this band. Yeah, that was a big thing. But yeah, I mean, it was probably maybe somebody when they were making the album was like, yeah, maybe just don't do that constantly. I don't know.
I just think it would be sick to like some point in that band's career, and I hope they do this like with something in the back of my mind where I'm just like, one day I hope they just put out a release that's slow. And then everybody just is like, what the fuck? Like, what? Where's 335 beats per minute? What? You know what I mean?
They could do it. They
flips everybody, but it's still like tech somehow. You know what I mean? Like they could probably pull that off. I just feel like that would be such a funny like career shift for them.
Next
like
move,
when In Flames became more of a metalcore band and everybody's like, oh, I stop at like Clayman. Then people will be like, yeah, I stop at like whatever the last fast one is.
I mean, even if they did a record that sounded like a Meshuggah record or something, like people might be confused.
Yeah.
You know, they'd be like, what? This is like Canadian gent? I don't see them doing that, though. They literally have Stay Tech all tattooed on their bodies, I think.
Yeah, and it's like their like corporation name is Stay Tech. Like,
so how could they not Stay Tech?
Yeah.
I mean, of all the people on Earth.
They dug themselves a hole on that one.
Yeah, but they could stay tech without staying fast. They don't have to be fast to be tech. You know? Like, they could find a way. I don't know, but you know what I mean? It would just be funny if they did something like that, ironically, to be like, we're going to do something different. It's like, sick, guys. This is your load, reload era. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's so fucking sick. Every song has such a... Even like the back half of that whole song, Relentless Mutation, I think is great. Like everything minus like the goofy clean part, I love. Like that sick like tapping riff. I will say the pig squeals sometimes are like... Really?
I think the vocals are the one thing I don't like about this band sometimes. Everything else...
Really?
Well, it's two things. It's really the vocals and the snare drum tone and the kick drum excess. Yeah, it's really like... Really vocals, mostly.
Yeah.
I get it. It's actually influenced by hip-hop, and that's kind of cool and everything, but... I think that the songs would come off better. I mean, I almost wish they were an instrumental band, honestly, because I think it's the speed and the genius of the progression. And I mean, nobody would be into that. Like maybe I wouldn't even be into that. But yeah, I feel like the rapping death metal vocals, that's the hardest thing about this band for me to get into.
Yeah.
That's why they're not like my favorite band, you know?
Shit. How do you feel about that?
Doesn't bother me because I don't listen to the lyrics or vocals.
Yeah. I like the vocals. I think they're pretty cool and unique.
It
and
never
like,
bothers me.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'm just like, okay, it is excessive, but like I can't imagine what it would be toned down. I feel like it wouldn't be as sick. And
I mean, you got to keep up with these guys.
Yeah. You know, if I'm getting like a short chunk of technical death metal, like what this record really is, it's like if I'm getting like just 7 songs of that, I want outrageous shit. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be like over the top. And they do a great job of doing it while still making it cool, in my opinion. Like I think there's a lot of cool shit on the record.
Inhuman Murmuration, actually, if I had to, as much as I was like, yeah, I don't like it being super fast all the time.
Yeah.
When there's like the trades with the vocals and I think it's the vocals and the drums. And
yeah.
That's pretty damn cool. But the whole like starting the song with like rapping with a fucking machine gun over it or whatever.
Calamus will animate. I
love the song Calamus will animate. I think it's actually got a really great hook in it. I just don't know about that intro. I'm still like,
I love it.
Well, I'm sure you're not alone. I mean, it's one of their top played songs on Spotify.
What about you?
It's a memorable thing because it's
Doesn't
unique.
bother me.
No other band I think has ever done that in the death metal world.
Yeah.
You know, to have like the vocals doing that and have just vocals. But
Yeah.
that was probably their idea. Their idea was probably no gunshots, and that would have been insane. Like more insane than with the gunshots.
Yeah. So sick.
Just replace all the drums with gunshots.
Yeah. Well, they played to this. It's so funny because this is a Dave Otero record, and you recorded an album with Dave Otero. So,
Yeah. We didn't talk about Arcspire much, but I have some
Before or
insight
after?
into his approach. We recorded with him after this album was already out.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think
This album's been out for a minute. It came out in 2016, I think.
It's 17.
2017. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny because I mean, I was familiar with this among other things that he did, but we didn't talk about this one that much. I mean, I maybe brought up Arcspire once, and I can't remember what the context was. It might have. Oh, it was when he gave me. I'll tell this story. There's a good story. He made me play some of the fastest riffs that I had to play on the whole record with a super thin guitar pick. Like if you're familiar with Dunlops, I mean, I don't know which camera. This is like what I normally use.
That's your camera.
0.88. It's a green one, and there's I think 3. There's the yellow, the orange, and then there's the red. It's below the orange. The orange one, I might have one in my pocket, but anyway, that's what pop punk players use. It's really floppy. And he made me go even thinner than that to play all the fast trem-picked parts because it sounded better. And I was like, are you fucking making the dudes from Arcspire do this with their like 800 beat per minute things? And
yeah.
I never really got a straight answer about that. But I do know, he made them change picks. I think he made them use these when they're used to using like jazz picks or something like that. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's my one story about it. That's the only time it came up. It didn't come up any other time than that. In our working time, I talk more about Cephalic Carnage because that's
Fair enough.
like I
Your
just love
shit.
that stuff.
Yeah.
I
That's
believe
awesome,
you
though.
can find a video of Dave Otero like breaking down the drum editing for an Arcspire song.
He did a fucking phenomenal job on this record
I'll
with everything, but especially with the drums. The snare tuning
his
is probably
editing,
just
like
Oh, yeah, I mean-
phenomenal. Like he's so good.
just having worked with him. He's a drummer. He's a drum dude. Like he could probably
Right.
play drums on most of the records that he records drummers on. Maybe not this one if he didn't practice
So it
enough.
was a bit much, but
But yeah,
I think the
that's.
drums on that new Inferi track sound great.
I think that's sort of. I mean, he's great at everything, but that really is a strength where I'm like, oh, yeah, I needed to just stay out of the way and watch him and our drummer Matt converse and work because he was accounting for everything. You know, he was really, really in tune with writing the parts, and I do kind of wonder if I could have been a fly on the wall in the session if he was a fan of some of the decisions that maybe they would have naturally made, like with a crazy double kick string clean parts. Like I don't know. But yeah, considering I don't know what he did for the snare, but it sounds like a really, as much as it's cranked super crazy high, it sounds very, very real. I think there might be a little sample, but it's like a sample of his actual snare or something like that. And it just sounds really incredible and real, clear, tight.
Dave knows what he's doing.
8 million beats per minute. You can still hear it.
He's not bad at his job.
Ooh, I hate this song. Whatever
What
this
song is
shit
this?
is, I don't know.
Yeah, is this a common thing? This is my first time doing a podcast with you guys.
Yeah,
here.
it's been yes
there
and no.
have been times where you've been like, oh, there's that black metal band playing, and even when
We've never really
Can't
been here
really
this
hear it.
late. I don't think since we've been in the spot. I don't think we've
go
done,
late.
huh?
We'll go this late.
Till 8? Really? Yeah, maybe you're right. Like we've
I
come
start
here,
at
came
7.
here at
Might
like
be
5
like
or
a-
some shit.
might be a Misfits song. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Anyway, but yeah, it's a hit or miss. Sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. Wah, 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 la, 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 la.
It's not Spaniard, so I don't care.
Yeah. But yeah, I just love this album, man. It's so sick. It's so good, and I'm very, very, very excited to hear this next one.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really good.
I'm excited for him too, man. And you said they're going to do a European tour. And
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what it would be like trying to tour Europe right now. I'm sure they'll do it and they'll find out, but just the way the world is,
Yeah.
hopefully they can get in and get across all the borders and follow all the protocols. And yeah,
Yeah.
We'll see.
We sure
Totally.
will.
I mean,
With that Canadian technical death metal, man.
we got to talk about nobody brought up the bass playing. I feel like the bass playing is really the unsung thing about this record. Like Jared is the unsung hero.
Our bass player tried out for Arcspire. Remember
Yeah,
that?
he did. Is that video on the internet somewhere? Or
Yeah,
no?
he uploaded it to Facebook, I think.
Oh, I thought you didn't.
No, I think he did eventually.
I just think he keeps up and stays out of the way, and I don't know, maybe that doesn't sound like a compliment, but in this type of music with the guitars being as crazy and the fucking drums being as crazy and the vocals being as crazy, he's still playing all the notes, but his tone isn't super crunchy. It's not, the bass isn't super in your face most of the time. It has its moments to shine, and then it also has its moments where it kind of supports what the rest of the song. And yeah, I like it. I'm a fan.
Nice.
On
It's his
the
first
previous
album with the
record?
band too. So
What'd
you say?
Who did bass on the previous record?
Some dude that was in the band already.
somebody named Jaron. Jared replaced Jaron. That's what I remember reading. I don't have
That's
like,
why
the thing
Franco
in front
didn't
of
get
me.
the gig. Because of his name.
Yeah, they were nominated for a Juno in 2018 for this album.
Really?
Yep. The Canadian Grammys
Right.
for Best Hard Rock. They did not win, but
That's fucking awesome, though. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
right?
Good for them.
Sick hard rock record. I wish I knew who won. It was probably like,
Neil Young.
if I had to
also.
guess, if Monster Truck put out an album, you guys know about Monster Truck?
No.
You guys ever
Is
heard
it
of
like
them?
Monster Bag.
They're kind of like the Canadian Nickelback, except Nickelback's Canadian.
Wait, yeah.
No, they're like, similar stylistically, I would say, but they're not as well known. The Canadian Nickelback.
That's great, dude.
That was improvised, not in my notes.
Pump the brakes here.
Yeah, this record's so sick. So much fun. I don't even think I own a CD copy of it. I should buy it. I have a shower curtain. My shower curtain is a fucking the album cover.
Oh, you have it?
It's
Yeah,
the Relentless
dude.
Mutation album cover. I bought it
awesome.
because they made it a merch item, and I was like,
You should have
yeah,
brought it.
fuck it.
You should have brought it and wrapped yourself in it for this podcast.
Yeah, so that's pretty sick. But yeah, I don't even think I have the CD of it. I should get it.
Yeah, what a great band. What
Just to have
a
it.
good choice, Bill. I mean,
Yeah.
I
my well's
think
running
for
dry.
me creatively, I'm a little bit burnt out on trying to
I can't believe you guys haven't picked
tech
Planetary
death.
Duality yet.
I was waiting for one of you two to pick it, and I honestly, because
I think it's
if
a
I'm
real,
gonna make a Faceless album, you
Rito
guys
shot
you
first
know which one
moment.
it's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be Planetary Duality.
I know what it's going to be.
Yeah, and
And I know which one I'm going to pick.
Once again, we can do an all faceless one.
that would actually be pretty cool because they only have 4 records,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We could do all of them.
No. 3. That's it.
Which one gets the chopping?
The first one.
The newest one.
I'm
Get it?
doing the newest one. I'm
You would
doing-
want to drop the first
You wouldn't
one.
want to
Yeah.
do Ekeldama. That
That's
shit's so
insane.
good. It's
I know
such
it
a
is
great,
so good, but I want to do the new one. I want to do it.
Well,
I
that's
would-
that's exactly why we'd have to do 4. We'd have to just make an
Right.
exception.
Ah, get out of
I
here.
can't believe you would drop the first one and would rather talk about the other 3.
Sorry, fellas. I think,
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me
I think it's
either.
more interesting.
I think you're wrong, but interesting is a relative term.
Yes, it is.
But if you, I mean, come on, like
that episode.
the first album is such an emblematic representation of that era of MySpace metal and all the different influences. The Faceless,
Sure.
it's like the band in its infancy. It's all these different influences. There's like power metal parts on that record. They're small, but they're there, and that obviously goes away with Planetary Duality. Their opus.
Yeah.
But like, you want to do you want to do some Depeche Mode covers?
Yes. I really do. I've been listening to it recently. Just cause.
What's it called again? Like the
In
Ghost
Becoming a Ghost.
in Becoming a Ghost Reveries.
But it's funny because Arcspire and the Faceless had like a beef on the internet.
Did they really?
Around the time that this album came out. Yeah. Around the time both of
What
these
about?
records came out. I don't remember what it started with, but like Ali was talking like Michael Keane said some dumb shit about Arcspire, and then Ali just like shot back at him and was like, "You're a fucking heroin addict piece of shit," and you're
Oh,
like,
yeah, the
and
singer.
you're a bad singer and shit like that, and then like he came back and he was like, "Yeah, well, your rapping is really stupid. Like we don't need Limp Bizkit, Tech Death, or some shit like that." It was just really immature and dumb, but like it was funny to see because like you don't see a lot of beef happen. But
We need
like,
more. I think we need a little more beef in metal.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a little more lighthearted.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty not lighthearted. Just be like, yo, you're a heroin addict piece of shit.
Brutal.
And like, yeah, I mean, the rapping thing I think is a little more lighthearted, but
who can we start
obviously
beef with?
Our bands?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Anybody
I don't know about
right now.
And dude, I gotta say, I
we're
watched.
not already in bands with some people.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to say it on camera.
What?
I watched the episode of the Cali Death podcast with Michael Keane on it recently, and it was like rough to watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it was hard to take him like really seriously. Like he at one point he picked up a guitar and was like shredding, but like the audio was so loud that Zoom didn't pick it up because of the gate on the automatic gate on Zoom. So like he was like, "Oh, do you hear this?" And you would hear like. Yeah, it's like, dude, what are you doing? And he kept talking about like all these like random ailments he had, and I don't know. I take it a little. I don't know. I don't want to get too into it, but like, it was just.
At some point during these, we have to talk about Michael Keane.
Well, yeah, like the rise of Wes Hauck and listening to that dude on podcasts all the time. I mean, even listening to how he's like, everyone's afraid to say it. I feel like, guys, there should be a happy medium between calling somebody like a junky piece of shit and then also being like, he was doing his thing. I can't really say what it was. It's like, come on. You could be like, he had some substance problems or whatever. There's a PC way to say it. There's a political way to go about navigating that situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still rooting for Michael Keane. I always say that. Every podcast we do, I'm like, he'll figure it out one of these days.
Yeah, it's just interesting. It's just interesting. And I think it was funny that like those bands feuded with each other. And obviously one is definitely still relevant and they only have 2 records out. Or 3, technically, because they have an album before Lucid Collective.
They do, yeah. And it's not on streaming services.
No, I think is it not?
It's not on Spotify.
All Shall Align? Oh, shit. I don't know. I thought that was self-released, but yeah, maybe, I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, it is a full album.
A band we could feud with.
I don't know. At this point, it's weird because we don't see. I mean, we could feud with Warforged.
Yeah,
I said we can't feud with anybody that we're already in bands with.
Oh, you said that.
Yeah.
That makes it harder because we're all in a lot of bands.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or bands that our other band members are connected to.
Yeah, we don't even have roommates that are like a weird band that we're not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess it would have to be like Epitaph.
Yeah, I was gonna say Carry On Throne. But they
Throne,
might literally kill us, so we should not know.
Yeah, no, they're
Danny.
awesome.
We're good.
Yeah.
Haven't seen those guys in a while. We should just start beef with them. Just
No, they're sick. They played a show recently somewhere.
Did they?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. But anyway, do you guys have anything else to talk about this Arcspire record?
I brought the bass. I'm happy about that because it never gets talked about.
You brought that motherfucking bass.
I'm all about that bass. About that bass. I like treble. Yeah, I'm looking at my little piece of paper. It's a little sad.
Hieroglyphics.
My favorite note that I put is for Mimic. Well, it says clean part with no stupid feet. I did it. I wanted to say that I really, if Gabe is listening, which maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
He definitely is.
Definitely listen to this drummer, and you will love him forever.
Or hate him.
He might just hate him. Queen. But yeah, that would be the very definition of it. I'm just saying, listen to it and be like, whoa, because I think that he can pretty much really play all this stuff, and it is insane.
Yeah, I mean, I've
he
seen
can.
plenty
I've
of
seen him
videos.
do it.
Oh yeah, when did I wanted to ask you guys because I was I guess too lazy to look it up.
Twice.
We played with Arcspire twice at Reggie's both times. Do either of you have the information as to when that was?
I don't remember the years, but I remember the lineups.
Wait, twice?
Yeah, we played with them 2 times.
Yeah, we played with them. The first time we played with them was their first time in Chicago with Fit for an Autopsy, Aborted, Dark Sermon, and Arcspire. And then we played with them again with Revocation and Black Fast and Arcspire and Cannabis Corpse.
I want to say, I think it was the first time we played with them. I was really like, I think I randomly met a guy who worked for Surly Brewing, which is a great beer company out of Minneapolis.
And we got that beer.
And I got a bunch of free beer for the show.
That was awesome.
And I remember, maybe I was being naive. I was thinking like, oh, these guys are on tour. Like, I'm sure they have like PBR or whatever, but I'm going to stock the fridge with this nice beer. And I think if it was that tour, if the one that remembering it correctly, they had 30 shows in 30 days or something, and that was like the last show of tour. And those dudes were not in a good mood. We're being like, here you go, I got this beer. And they were like, yeah, cool. Like they didn't even drink or something.
Over it.
And I was like, oh shit. Yeah, you guys are, I'm just going to try to stay away from you and enjoy your set. They all seemed pissed. But I think the second time it wasn't like that. It was kind of the opposite. It was like, maybe life was looking up.
They're probably fried, man. But that was when Sven from Aborted managed Arcspire.
He did?
Yeah,
Oh,
he used
I didn't know
to,
that.
and he dropped them because Ali made some insensitive joke about like the shootings in Paris or something like that.
Oh, I vaguely.
And then
Whoa.
Sven was like, yeah, that's not cool. And then, boop, dropped them.
Damn. Didn't even know that.
Yeah, but obviously they're still crushing it harder than they've ever been. So, you know, their Tech Trek tours were awesome. Dude, I saw it at the last one at Reggie's was fucking packed. Almost sold out, I think. Like, it's insane to see that.
Yeah,
Good for them.
they've really harnessed their thing and they market it very well.
Oh, yeah. They're geniuses, marketing-wise, I think. Like, I have a ton of Arcspire merch, like old Arcspire merch now. But, like, shit from the Lucid Collective album cycle. But, like, it was always cool shit, you know? Like, cool merch that I thought was fun to buy. And, like, yeah, they really are, like, they got
Dean's
their
really
business
good about
on.
the whole YouTube shit.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
I watch a lot of stuff.
They're
that
like a
he
business,
produces.
you know what I mean? They're like a businessman. They get loans from Canada to like be musicians and shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, Canada.
I know.
Oh, Canada.
It's just sick because it's like the culmination of all that sick tech that Canada is known for.
Right.
You know, it's like now you got Arcspire and fucking Beyond Creation, which is like the other side of like the coin of modern tech death, I think.
Speaking
Segway.
Je pourtant en pisser means I have to piss in French. Don't say that to a woman. I did that once, and she was not into it,
Oh,
like offended or something. So
maybe you had to take a piss.
Yeah, but like it's like a vulgar way of
I was
saying.
gonna say
it.
it sounds like it's an
I
aggressive.
asked
way
a
to say
French
it.
person, and they told me to. Say, it wasn't like I wanted to be
Somebody
aggressive,
played a trick on you.
but it's true, and I have to do that. And before I get into this
Go for it.
diatribe about a life-changing event. Sorry. BRB.
all right, brother.
LOL.
I had a friend that told a German lady that she didn't know how to speak German to her. It did not go well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she got real pissed. Lady got
Shit.
very upset. She was just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She's like, "I am German. I know how to speak German." She's like,
Wow.
I'm sorry. Because it was just like she fucked up the whatever phrase she was trying to say,
Uh-huh.
and it came out as like basically saying like the lady's German was bad or she didn't speak German or something like that, and the lady just exploded on her. It's pretty funny.
Fuck.
Good for being a world traveler.
Yeah, I guess I guess so, man.
Serves you right.
Shit.
Now they don't travel the world anymore.
Yeah, shit. I gotta pee too, man.
Jesus, Gil.
Should I go now or should I wait for him to come back?
You can go now.
I'll wait for him to come back.
No,
So
go
you're not.
now because I'll just edit this out.
All right.
I won't.
So then I'll wait for him to come back.
I'll just stare at the camera.
I can
for
hold
5
down.
minutes.
I'll hold down. I think I can hold down.
I don't think you can.
I think I can. We'll see.
All these bottles of water in front of you.
Yeah, I know. This one. Been drinking a lot of that.
Floral. Trying to think. It reminds me of something. I just can't think of it.
Hawaiian shirt.
It just reminds me of every like. I don't know, like Thai restaurant.
Alakahiki tiki bar.
Chef Shangri-La.
Yeah.
Place I've been frequently going to.
Really?
Yeah, my dad was like, he was like on a kick for Chinese food for some reason. And he said, let's go there. And I was like, all right. I love that
What do you
place.
get?
Whatever. Every time we go, we get something different just to try it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all pretty much the same. It's like, it's either your choice of chicken, beef, pork, or vegetable, and then what color sauce do you want?
Do they have good orange chicken?
I don't know. We haven't gotten that yet.
Shit, man.
Sweet and sour was really good. The sesame chicken was good.
Cool.
What else? There's a few things. There was a couple that we had that was like, that's all right.
Yeah. That sounds really good.
I do enjoy going there.
Yeah.
It's better if you like to drink because they have the
Sure.
like the tiki drinks and stuff like that, which they're known for. And back in the day, I used to go there and just get fucking wasted.
Sick.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it's easy to do with those things because you can't.
Oh, yeah. They have so much alcohol.
So much alcohol and like you can't taste any of it.
Yeah.
They just taste good. And he's back.
Welcome
Look like a
back, Mr. Madden. What's going on with you?
I tried to hold the door open so you could hear them covering the Buzzcocks. I don't know if anybody heard that, though.
Can turn the gate off.
It's a good song.
The Buzzcocks, the cock buzzes.
Yeah, the Buzzcocks. You ever fallen in love with someone you shouldn't have fallen in love with? Universal theme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beyond creation. What do you guys say?
So my choice, an album called Earthborn Evolution
I'm
Yeah.
surprised it took you this long to do this band.
by some wonderful French Canadians called Beyond Creation. You're surprised it took me this long. Honestly, I hadn't thought about this band in quite a while.
You only have like 3 records out.
Yeah, this album, I believe, came out in 2014.
Yeah.
And I was really not very familiar with this band before Roman Ring played a show with them on July 21st, 2016 at our old haunt, Reggie's Rock Club.
Our old
Old
haunt.
stomping grounds.
Yeah, it's an old haunt. We haunt the place.
Old
Go there
haunt.
from time to time. And it was really, really mind-blowing to me watching them play live. I didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
I was extremely moved by it. I mean, they're just, what do you call it? Technical, progressive, melodic death metal. But just lots of great musicianship, great playing, really well thought out riffs, arrangements. They play 8-string guitars, but they don't sound like it most of the time. Honestly,
They are
this band
Strandberg
is
bros.
yeah, they are Strandberg bros. But I will say this band has my favorite example of fretless bass in death metal. The title track, Earthborn Evolution, is insane.
Shout out Hugo.
It's so good. It's
Right? Isn't Hugo on that album?
Hugo Weaving.
I'm actually not sure. I don't have.
Oh no,
it
I think
either.
it's Dominic Forrest, the guy, like the dude from Quo Vadis.
like
and-
not the guy that we saw them with. I don't think.
No, that's Hugo.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Hugo's an awesome dude.
it's like lead bass, but in such a tasteful, cool way. I mean, the way they use the 8 strings, the way the registers do intersect at times, I just think it's genius. And honestly, like when I saw them play live, I was so moved by it. Like there's probably no way I wasn't gonna like the record, right? I mean, it was one of those rare experiences for me. Like I could say maybe 4 or 5 times in my entire life, I really saw a band live and was moved by it to that point, and then heard out album form, and it's like, yes, my brain naturally will go like, well, maybe the drums are a little there's like a little bit of fake shit going on, but it's like, no, I saw the drummer, he was great, he could do it. Again, sort of similar to Arcspire. I don't love the vocals all the time. Like when they do longer instrumental passages, or there's a track, which I could be mixing this up. I got this off Spotify, and it seems there's a lot of strange spellings of things, but abstraight dialogue. But I don't even know what abstraight means, and dialogue is spelled D-I-A-L-O-G. Is a great instrumental track where they don't have vocals at all. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love the style. I love the soloing. I love the guitar tapping. Like I said, the lead bass. Man, I don't know. There's not enough good things I feel like can be said about this band in terms of like executing the style. And what did you guys think about it? We were all there at that show. We all played.
I don't really remember them well at that
You might have been
show.
sleeping in the van.
It's very possible. I am old. No, I like this band. They remind me, a lot of moments, they remind me of like Obscura Light, and that's not a bad thing at all. It's an awesome thing.
yeah, because they're very melodic.
It's cool, yeah.
But I associate this band because when this album came out, I bought it, and then Warforged did like our first show, and we did that fest in Florida that weekend, and that was like right when this album came out. So I brought the CD because the van we were borrowing from this kid at the time had like a CD player in it.
Sick.
So I was like, oh, I'll pick it up at Rolling Stones, which I did, and we listened to it, and it's really good. I mean, this album just reminds me of all those like weird drives and shit like that. I associate it with that, but it's It is a good record, but I've never really been able to latch on to Beyond Creation very much. I always think they're sick ever since I heard their first record, The Aura. And I love their vocals. I love the dude. Is it Simon? Is that the main dude's name?
I think so.
Yeah, his vocals are killer. I thought this album, I like this album, I think, the most in all of their discography. I think it's the best one. I think there's really cool songs. That like Nocturnal Emission song is really sick. I forget what it's called. Nocturnal Transmission, is that what it's called?
I think so.
You know what I'm talking about?
I left my notes at home.
Nocturnal Emission.
It's called Neurological Transmissions.
Really?
Freudian slip. There.
According to Spotify. Which again, I mean, this is such a small little footnote, but my parents and their fucking English degrees, it just blows my mind, like the weird misspellings of things with this band. And I know that English isn't their first language, so I'm not really trying to hold it against them.
What is it on like the album? If you buy the album, is it?
I have a CD copy of it, but I couldn't find it. I was going to bring it to the podcast.
I have it. I could have brought it.
Like
no, but like algorithm, the word algorithm is misspelled like on purpose, I think. That's their newest
How is
record.
what spelled on this album?
Well, Nate's mentioning all like the.
Oh yeah, it is Neurotical Transmissions. That is what it's called.
But I was saying like abstract dialogue.
Yeah, that's right.
What is-
Abstract dialogue.
But the way dialogue is spelled, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I think like they're always making these like puns, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I said, with algorithm spelled wrong.
Cool album artwork too, like Alien City. I think it's a Par Ollison.
It does the
artwork.
job for sure. But man,
Yeah.
I think that this stuff is just so catchy. Like I
It
really,
is catchy. The riffs are really cool.
I think Fundamental Process, which is the last song, is my favorite.
Yeah.
But I mean, I chose the title track as the track for the audience to check out because I think it's sort of it's emblematic of all the great things about the band. I mean, they really utilize dynamics well, in my opinion. There's a great amount of melody, lots of cool guitar tapping riffs, lead bass stuff. The fretless bass doesn't stick out in a way that's silly, I think. At least that's just my opinion. I mean, I feel like it's much more tasteful than other bands that use that in this realm. Lexord, I think that's a French thing, obviously. It's like 2 minutes, but it's a fucking sick song.
Yeah, it's a cool song.
And which proves they're obviously capable of doing the short banger thing and also kind of a more longer epic track like Fundamental Process is relatively long.
Yeah. I like the song The Axiom.
Yeah.
That's a cool one, I think.
Totally. I mean, I like every song on this record. They definitely, like I said, I think I wanted to just point out a few things of note where they kind of go outside the box of melodic, progressive, technical death metal, like on Theatrical. Delirium, where they kind of go full prog at the end, and it kind of just it actually sounds like fusion for a minute. And then obviously there's the instrumental stuff, and I don't know. I love everything about this record. I mean, I think that maybe because I like that main, I can't really. I want to sing it, Jason. You could probably sing it. The main kind of hook tapping riff that ends the record in Fundamental Process. I sort of, didn't say too many positive things. I can't because it's got multiple voices and stuff. I thought you'd be able to do it because that's more your department on this podcast.
I gotta hear it like in my face and then like do it because I don't remember it.
But it has the way the vocals fit over the riff. I just feel like it's so fucking epic. And
hell yeah.
Yeah,
it's just fundamental processing, dude.
What we need to do is you need to put a timestamp for these parts and songs and let me know, and I'll try to like have them queued up. So
dude, I would love that. I didn't realize you could do that because you want to put it on YouTube and they'll copyright strike.
Well, I can play a snippet for us to hear. I don't necessarily have to put it on the show.
Oh,
that would still be beneficial.
Yeah,
I could just queue it up on my phone and hear it. Do you want me to do that, Nate?
You don't have to. I mean, if you think it'll help,
here, guys.
If you think it'll help, I mean,
no, I don't want it on the mics.
Yeah, it's more just if you can't remember it. I mean, that's fine. Like that song, I listened to this album because I actually have a CD copy of it, so I can jam it in the car. I listened to it so much when I first got it, and I think that it did creep its way into my writing a little bit, even though obviously we don't play 8 strings in our band or either band that I'm in. But something about the way they use tapping, it's not like a flashy thing. It's not like a look at me, look at how many notes I can play. it's much more kind of juxtaposing the high range and the low range within riffs. And that's not only so much easier for someone like me to execute and rip off because I'm not that fast at tapping, but I think it's also just so much more musical, you know, to add to the different range of voices that they had. And Jason, if I had to guess, like I don't know, you could correct me if I'm wrong. The drummer of this band's amazing.
Yeah.
But the way the drums sound on this record it doesn't sound real at all. Like it has, like, his parts are there and it doesn't sound like it's programmed, but it doesn't have that feel to it at all. Like anytime there's a snare drum roll, you're like, oh, there's the sample. At least that's how I hear it. I'm like, I know this guy's actually playing it, but on the record, it's too much. It has,
I don't know if it's sampled or not, honestly.
Definitely.
I have no clue.
There's definitely some studio voodoo with the snare drum specifically. Probably with everything, but like I said, the parts are there. They're illustrated well, but it's. I could see why I tell a drummer to like this album, and they're like, yeah, it's okay. You know, I think if you're not a string player, you don't have that like identifier in your head. It's like it's hard to appreciate. If you're a vocalist, if you're a drummer, I could be like,
yeah. Well, this was like their first full release on Season of Mist too. Like this, they picked them up after the Aura was already out, and they re-released that album because I think Beyond Creation just put it out themselves, and this was like their first album on the label. But I don't think. I don't know. I have no record of if it's fake or not. Honestly,
I'm not saying it's fake. It's like the specific decisions of how you like want the mix to sound, and you know, how whatever. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel like a drummer playing a kit to me, and I'm okay with that because I'm listening to the guitars and just kind of like
I guess
the ideas more than the actual tone of it. But like I don't know, I'm sure there's a reason why you gravitate towards a Nile record, and it's because you can like really hear the drums. Or a Hate Eternal record, it's like you can hear the humanity there.
Yeah, man.
You know they're really doing it, and you can hear that, and it doesn't.
Yeah,
sound
and I guess I don't. I mean, like when I'm listening to
overdone.
Beyond Creation, I'm not really paying attention to the drums as much as I am the guitars. I feel like that's the real highlight of this band. But
yeah, he doesn't do anything too flashy or too fast.
yeah, and it's like. Some of it feels like complex to me where I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this sounds so hard to play, or like, you know, just something along the lines of something being extreme to that degree. But I don't necessarily know if, I don't know. I mean, it sounded like it was, parts of it sounded realistic to me, but I guess I didn't pick up on that as much, or it didn't pick up on, like, I didn't really think that well with my listen through of the record.
What about you, Bill?
Whew.
What do you want?
Oh, I'm talking about just like, how did you feel about the way the drums are represented on the record? Because maybe you have more of an ear for that.
I don't know. Nothing really stuck out negative. Or, like, I don't know. I was all right with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really nitpick it as hard.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because I didn't listen to it on my like monitors at all. It was just usually through like, my car and stuff like that.
I mean, it sounds good. Like, it fits in well. It's just sort of not all the way like completely fake, as huge sounding as possible, but definitely not organic sounding. It kind of rides this weird middle ground, which was probably what they were going for, I guess. But if I really focus on the drums,
this album, do you know?
I do not know their name. I did not prepare that information.
Usually you're good about that.
You have a computer in front of you.
I don't have the internet.
Touche. No, usually I am. Like I said, I fucked up and I didn't have my notes. When I was listening to shit yesterday, and I could have, when I went to the bathroom last time, looked up who produced this record or who recorded it, but I didn't. I didn't think it would come up. I thought I was okay. I figured you all would just be like making fun of me for the fact that I cried when I saw this band the first time.
Did you cry?
I did a little bit. There were some tears flowing.
Why would I make fun of you for that, man?
When was the first time you saw him?
It was when we played with him. I've only seen him twice. The second time was not like that at all.
Well, you know what to expect.
Why would I make fun of you, man?
There's plenty of other stuff we can make fun of you for, and that's not one.
Come on, dude. That's a sensitive moment.
It was good.
Yeah, if it's a worthy, I've cried at shows, man, multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing
but
wrong
not
with
at a tech. I don't think I've ever cried at like a death metal show. I cried at the Contortionist once, and I cried at Mono once. But they're like a post rock band, so.
What? So that makes it okay?
No, but I guess it's just different.
Yeah.
Different vibe than a metal show.
No, I mean, I don't know what it'll be like going forward, man. It'll be interesting to see because we've all, generally speaking, obviously this is not 100% true because people don't give a fuck, but we've all been deprived of live music now for so long.
I know. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I still yet to have gone to a show.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I guess I haven't either, unless you count the one where I played.
Yeah, see, that technically counts.
It probably counted.
Yeah.
I felt like it counted.
More than we've done.
But I haven't been to any others. I mean, I was going to go to that show, that Typesetter show at Chop Shop, and Typesetter wasn't going to play. They canceled their set, so I didn't go. Bass player was ill, non-COVID, but sick to the point where they weren't going to play. And they
You
didn't
at
play.
least get to hang out with Matt.
No, I didn't go because they weren't going to play.
Before or after.
No, I still haven't seen my dear friend Matt Gonzalez in, I don't even know, 18 months probably at this point, maybe longer. It's been a minute, as the kids used to say when I was
I think they still say
25.
that.
They would
Hope
say
they still
that.
say that. They probably don't. I don't know. What do they say now, kid?
They say,
It's been a while. It's been ruined by Aaron Lewis. And then
Since I go and fuck
yeah.
things up.
I saw some article that he
he was drunk and did that one song twice.
That's awesome. I didn't watch the video, but
I watched
should.
the video actually because I have
Did he get
that
pissed?
much free time. No, I
Did the
think
crowd get
that
pissed?
whole thing, nobody was pissed. I think that whole thing was just like clickbait promo for Aaron Lewis's solo project because
Probably.
he didn't even seem like he was that drunk.
Stain's going on tour again.
He's playing that song and he's like, oh shit. He basically plays the whole song.
Are
and
they
he goes,
really?
Oh shit, I was
so,
supposed to be playing
Who's
outside.
playing drums?
Not John.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whoever they got. There's probably some touring musician.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the Stain documentary on YouTube from their last album, like the making of?
No, but you guys were telling me about it.
It's a
and
good
I
one.
need
It's
to
sick.
watch
It's
it.
on
It's a good
YouTube,
one.
dude. It's free.
Maybe I'll watch it when I get home.
Seeing Aaron
Now that I'm
Lewis
thinking
berate
about it.
Johnny K.
Yeah. You fucking idiot.
Oh, that's what I want. I just want to see that. I just
Yeah,
want to
It's
see him
crazy.
have like a meltdown.
Call him a retard and
Like
shit.
imagine like
yeah,
giving
very
Johnny
sick.
K shit. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
Aaron
Well,
Lewis.
I mean, I wouldn't do that, but
Nobody should
if I was
really
working
do
with
that.
Johnny K, I'd just be like, "Thank you for not charging me 8 times as much as you did." It would be harder for me to be like, "What is this bullshit?" But if I sold 80 million albums or however many Stained has sold, I could see them being a little more like diva.
yeah.
I guess.
I mean, it's still stupid. Like, I don't know. A lot of people. So this is a topic I would love to talk about more with you guys, but we've talked about it a bit because we all recorded records together. I will never really understand how emotional and how like insanely pissed people can get when they're recording. You know what I mean? Unless that's like part of your art and you have to be that pissed to like play your instrument or like sing your heart out. And I mean, maybe some people do, but just being, primarily a guitar player, somebody that I just enjoy being in the studio in general.
Some people
It's
don't.
hard.
Some people
It's
think
hard for
it's
me
high
to
stress.
relate to people that get super high strung in the studio. I mean, because it's like unless something really, really catastrophic happens, it's like usually you can just do it again. It's like especially in the digital age or something. Even if you're
beauty of
trying to
digital.
play something you can't play, people are just like, oh yeah, we can edit that. It's I've always just thought of it as a low stress environment.
I get a little stressed because I just feel like in my mind, I was like, I got to be on point because I just don't want to waste somebody else's time. If I'm doing it myself, who gives a shit? I'll waste my own time all day, zero stress. But if there's another like person involved, then I just feel like, oh fuck, I got to be on. Otherwise, this is all for naught. Like, and more often than not, I'm more than prepared for most sessions.
I've never seen you suck at anything in the studio.
Well, no, because I kind of, I work at it.
You'll make me play stuff and make me suck and laugh at me before
Yeah, but
you'll
you don't
suck.
though.
But yeah, like if it's some part and neither of us know how to play it, you're like, you got to do it, man.
You're quicker about that stuff though than I am.
Okay.
It's all about knowing your strengths and weaknesses
I guess.
and wanting a good product.
I think it might be a drummer thing. I think maybe that's what it is. I don't play drums, so I'm just like, oh yeah, studio's easy, carefree. Right?
I don't know. It seems like
No
drums are
way.
more stressful.
Yeah, I hate.
That's what I mean. Like maybe it's
Man.
I recognize that I've never been a drummer in a band, so maybe it's a drum thing. Like
You don't like it?
I've never been one to really enjoy the studio type shit. No, It's just like, it stresses me out. It's hard for sure. Like, it's hard to do like an 8-hour day where you're playing death metal drums all day, you know? Like, you really got to be geared up for it.
In shape.
Yeah, you know, like at least in shape for that, you know? And just overall, it's, I don't know. It depends. Like, when the Roman Ring album was pretty, like, doing that was pretty, like, not that stressful. Parts of it were stressful, but parts of it weren't. Like, with Warforged, it was pretty easygoing, I would say, for the most part. Like, easier than I expected it to be. Like, that was a really fun experience. But even then, it's like, you know, it's cool. It's sometimes, but at the same time, I also find that it could be, like, very challenging sometimes. Because sometimes guys will come in and want you to change shit on the fly. And it's shit that that might be something I'm not confident in playing right off the bat. And it's like, I don't want to just wing something while I'm in the studio while I'm doing this. You know, I'm fine with trying anything, you know. But
within reason.
Yeah, exactly, within reason. But if it's something I can't do or something that I don't think sounds good or something, I don't want to put that on there, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing is I'll do anything like that in the studio, man, for the most part. I'm not fearful to try stuff and improvise things. And I think part of it is just the level of experience, but also, like, I used to record on tape. It was so much harder.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know?
Well, that's why I, like, stress the whole pre-pro thing.
It's great. The more pre-pro you do, the better.
You guys are winning me over with that. I think historically I never cared because I just feel like I don't need it.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not, but I mean, like, I feel most people.
It's never been a detriment to have it. I'm just saying,
definitely helps.
I've never been like, oh my God, I need to record this before I record this before I record this. I'm like, no, that's a little crazy. I mean, it's nice that we have the luxury now, and anyone can do that. But
yeah, but like,
I don't know. I think it eliminates a lot of guesswork too, because you get to hear it.
Yeah.
In a totally different element than when you're jamming in a room together. And you're like, oh, that something there doesn't sound right, or something's a little off. Like,
and it's like a practice run. You know, it's like a really cool practice run you get to do where, I don't know, for me, like doing that with the way we did it on the first Warforged record was like awesome. It was perfect. It was like, it felt so good to me, and it felt like I was able to do everything I wanted to do. And then when we got into the studio, I was a lot more comfortable because I had been practicing. Like,
yeah, you knew the parts really well.
Yeah, you know, and I felt much more confident as a player, and you know, just like I felt I like going into situations like that with like a game plan. Like, I like that. That's me, though. That's how I feel like I function best.
Well, what do you mean by a game plan? You just mean you want to know every single note that you're going to play before you go in, and that's your game plan.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to know what I'm doing.
Because I'm the opposite. I want to have a game plan for sure, but my game plan is usually not going to be 100% of this is already determined, you know, because I don't know. That's not how my brain works. I feel like that's not how cool stuff happens when I'm recording.
Yeah, could be true, man.
I don't know. There's like a time and a place for that, though.
Everyone's different. Yeah. No, I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong. I think I'm the weirdo. I know I'm the weirdo because it's been proven.
I mean, you come in handy with that, like, improv, like we need a solo. Fucking rip one.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus. Done. You're like,
yeah, don't be like me. Don't be my lead
awesome.
playing is the weakest part of my life.
No,
that's where I need to learn how to do pre-production and be like, hey, I have this sick solo. I know every note and I can play it 8 times in a row exactly the same way.
At least with the pre-pro we're doing, now you can kind of hear the playback of like, oh, well, like I like that snippet there, and maybe you like this part. And,
yeah, I mean, I think it'll
nice
definitely. That's why I said you're. The fact that we can do it the way we have been has really been winning me over because it's not tedious, at least not for us. Might be for you, but the whole just being able to exist in our practice space like we normally do, play a song and it's recorded and it doesn't sound like complete distorted shit. Right. It actually sounds pretty damn good.
My goal was to try to get it as like the least in the way as possible. You know, so it's almost like it's not even like being recorded.
Yeah.
Which I think even like Gordon like was like looking around like, oh, are you recording this? I was like, yeah, like we're set up. I was like, oh, okay. And
I think he was more worried that you were going to record him saying something
horrible
fucked
things.
up.
Oh, I have a ton of stuff on him that I have saved in a folder.
He's like, he's got a real job. He's like, wait, you're recording that? Shit.
By the end of this, he's gonna give me that Yugo.
Dude, I rode around the block in that Yugo. It was
How
terrifying.
terrified was that?
I mean, it was
did he ever
slow
fix
and it
that
was a
hole in the
half
back
block.
with the exhaust.
Oh no, I was in the back
Inhaling
seat.
all?
I was getting high off the
All
exhaust.
right.
That's why it was only a half block. I'm like, thank the Lord.
Dude, that car is so awesome.
Damn.
Yeah, it was fun. It was like
Hell
I
yeah.
said, it was it was 5 minutes or something.
Little 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
Thing's the shit.
Hell yeah. What's your favorite Nile album?
That's a great question. Probably still Annihilation of the Wicked.
What's yours?
That one,
Annihilation of the Wicked?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. I don't give a shit about
I really like Those
I
Whom
like
the
one
Gods
song by Nile. I
Detest.
think it's that song.
Cast
that
Down the
song?
Heretic.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the first song on that album.
Like a minute-long solo.
Yeah, Those
The
Whom the
best.
Gods Detest is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's those two, but I can appreciate like Black Seeds of Vengeance. I used to jam that one
Oh,
a
it's
lot.
so good.
And it kind of depends on what you're listening to Nile for. Like, are you just listening for the drums?
No,
Because
for
I
the
no, I
music.
mean sometimes I feel like I am. That's why I'm like, you could go back and you have what's the Tony Loreno album?
In their darkened shrines.
Yeah, that's Matt Grychuk's favorite one. He's
Really?
Yeah, that's his fucking jam.
That one's
Tony
pretty
Loreno shit.
gnarly, man. That one is definitely harder for me to listen to, but I do really like it.
Yeah, Nile's been an interesting band, like production wise. Like they never really had like a crazy. I mean, I think maybe their most recent one is the most like modern sounding album. Like I was kind of wonder what it would be like if they had.
I feel like
If they went and did an album with David Taro, what the Nile version of that would sound
I
like.
feel like that At the Gates one had a like, not the band At the Gates, but the album. I never say it right, but
Sethu, I think
Yeah,
is what it
whatever
is,
that
or
is.
Sethu.
yeah, that one I think is pretty modern production.
Yeah, I think that's the one where they're using like angles for the guitars and they're way tight and it sounds
Yeah.
good but weird because you're not used to that with Nile. You
Yeah,
just like the
it is
Marshall
weird.
Sound.
It's cool though. It's a good album.
Dude, we totally got insanely off topic.
Yeah, yeah.
I know I
Whoops.
shouldn't draw attention to it.
Any-
I'm just glad.
any last words for
I'm glad that we got to do this and there weren't any internet connection problems because that drove me nuts last time.
Yeah.
It's nice to do in person, right?
It does suck
know,
when that happens.
Cheers to hopefully just being able to continue to do this in our little clubhouse.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
one of my guitar amps is right over there. The drums right over there. Bill's amp stack's right over there.
You can see the whole room with that mic or camera.
Sick. Look around, everybody.
Yeah,
This is our practice dungeon.
saying it is nice to not to deal with the Skype again.
Filled with many a wall flag.
There's still plenty of wall space though.
I
Jason.
know. I know.
I hope people enjoyed it if they listen this far. I doubt it, but you never know.
I'll hear about it next week.
Like you didn't talk at all about such and such.
I don't know. Leave it in the comments and we'll respond to those.
Yeah.
Because somebody mentioned they were like, Rammstein's not new metal. It's like, yeah, I know they're not, but
but get over it.
around that era.
Yeah, and it was
is when
so
they came
close
up, and they
to
toured
it.
with every new metal band ever.
Yeah,
during that time,
it's
you know?
fair. It's a fair
I thought it
assessment.
was fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Did
They're
somebody you
technically not
know
new
say
metal.
that, or was it just a
it-
random fan?
It was, I think the Metal Trenches guy. I think. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well, if they're not new metal, did they give you an alternative? Like, what do you call it then? Industrial
More
metal.
Industrial, yeah.
That's
Which is
that's what we
right.
do. We
It's
nitpick.
more- yeah, right. That's
Yeah. Jeez, it's so tiring sometimes.
I'm telling you, technical, melodic, progressive,
Fuck core.
thrash, blackened, fuck core,
extra
like you
crispy
said.
core.
Extra crispy core.
Yeah.
You could do that. If you,
Probably exists.
Sounds like a KFC experimental menu item.
Just thinking about Colonel Sanders from Nile. That's why.
Sick guy.
Colonel Sanders. Oh my god.
I think he's a sick dude.
He's
I
the shit.
agree.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I still love
The
that
Colonel,
band.
right? You're talking about the guy.
Yeah. I should pick one of their albums, man, for these. It never lines up for some reason whenever I'm on a Nile kick.
One day, the stars will
One day.
align.
Guys, our band is playing a show.
Yeah, we've been plugging it.
Roman Ring.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Roman
God, I forgot
Blank.
where I am. Oh my God.
Ramen blank.
Roman
Yeah,
Ring.
Roman
We're
Ring.
playing the Empty Bottle. We're gonna play first, so we'll probably be there real early, so you can.
With in the company of Serpents and Hive, and it should be a blast.
September 4th.
Yeah, maybe some new merch.
There will be some merch.
Maybe some new songs.
Yeah,
Maybe some new songs.
Maybe some new songs, some new merch, and
Some
maybe
new band members. I quit. By the way,
maybe the merch will end up on the internet after the show if people want to buy it. You know.
No, I'm excited and terrified. Like I've been telling people, COVID's still out there. It's still really fucked up. I mean, assuming we can, we'll probably still do the show and like hope for the best.
I'm hearing rumblings of another potential shutdown. But
I know. That's what I mean. Like
yeah.
when we booked the show, it was a while ago now, and it seemed like, oh, everything's going to be all right. Things will just continue to get better. And it's obviously been the opposite.
A little rough. It's rougher in the southern states. I noticed. I saw infographic.
Maybe more
recently.
stimulus pays on the way.
Probably not.
I don't think that'll happen as long as everything's open. I think
Yeah,
it would
that's what I
have to
mean. If
be
there were
everything
more
shut down.
shutdowns.
But I would rather.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy
COVID
to
didn't exist,
think
but-
about. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
me
anxious
too.
to see how the more bands that tour, with this late summer and fall, like how it goes, and I really hope that it goes well for everybody. And there aren't many tours shut down because of COVID cases and
Yeah, I mean that's all
whatever.
you can hope for at this point.
I mean, I feel like before COVID, every tour I went on, someone would get sick, whatever it was, and so it's just harder for me to imagine with COVID flying around. It's like someone has like symptoms, like you gotta go get tested, obviously, or everyone has to get tested, or you gotta have rapid tests, or whatever the answer is. And yeah, I hope it goes better than I think it's going to. That being said, playing one show locally, I feel like is a little more chill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And, that band Hive from Minneapolis is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys checked them out.
Are they cooler? Cool. I just stroked out. Are they cooler than from Chicago?
Ron Paul, man.
It's different. I mean,
Yeah, they're way
just
different.
very
They are
different.
cool though.
They
I
sort
have
of
checked them out
they
a
tie
bit.
the room together in terms of like
Yeah, it's
I
the
feel like-
bridging of the gap.
us
They're like the rug from Big Lebowski.
with our death metal thing that we do in the company of Serpents, which is like some doom stuff. They're
Oh, I see what
they're
you're
not
saying,
slow,
yeah.
but they're a
a
little
good
more
segue
grimy. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look really, really, really fast.
Yep, we
Maybe.
are.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we are. Fuck yeah, we are.
I lose perspective sometimes, man. I listen to a lot of fast music. I see a lot of fast bands.
Well,
I compare us to Arcspire, and I'm like, we're not.
We are
fast.
slow.
We
nobody
are.
is
We actually are a
fast,
doom
dude.
band. If you didn't
What band
notice,
is that?
Yeah.
What other bands? Brain Drill and who?
Spawn of Possession at times,
At
Yeah.
times, yeah.
and Spawn of Possession I still think is cooler, but
Yeah,
they maybe get close to those tempos.
Well, they're the Kings, and we all know. So
Origin, a little bit.
yeah, maybe.
Origin probably gets that fast. Yeah, Origin needs to do a David Terra record, dude.
That'd be fucking sick.
It'd be very cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Just have Davo Terror do everything.
Yeah, he's doing
so
that.
fucking good.
Doing that new Inferior record, Vile
Well, it's
Genesis.
done.
I'll plug that.
They released a single, so it
Yeah,
must be
they
done.
did. So
Nice.
he did that. It sounds really good, I think.
Yeah, I think it sounds good too.
Yeah.
The single.
Drums sound good too on that.
Yes, it does sound good.
Be able to listen to it 45 times today.
Bill starts playing it on guitar. Try it again.
That'll be the day.
Yeah.
All right, kids.
All
That was
right,
another
Bill.
fun metal one. In the
I guess
bag.
that was a long plug, so I don't really have. I got nothing else.
I think that's all we have to plug.
Yeah.
right?
Rivers announced their new album, The Work.
Well, they're not here on the show, so
Honestly,
get
I'll
back.
just say that's an odd album title. Like I kind of like it
What was the
because
album
title?
they're just going
The
like
Work.
The work begins. And I'm like, okay, that maybe it's really literal, maybe it's not. I'll see.
It's good.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I wonder
can't
about the title. Though.
Picture a
That's what I'm saying.
moment where that band
I think
would
it's an
suck.
awesome title, personally. I like how simple it is.
It just makes me think about the band.
Yeah, what about Colors 2, man? How about that title?
That also confuses me
Yeah.
for a different reason.
What's
Because
that?
they didn't
The new BT Bam album.
It's called Colors 2?
Yeah.
Yes. You did not know this?
No.
Oh, yeah.
You got.
Yeah, I swear to
Is
God.
this supposed to be some sort of...
Jason texted me this before I knew it, and I thought he was kidding. And then I went on the internet
the
for
story?
2
I found out a
seconds.
day before
Yeah.
the
story
press release
behind
drop. It's Colors 2. It's the sequel to Colors.
I don't really get it. I mean, I don't know if it's lyrically thematic. It's probably both. It's probably like instrumentally similar, lyrically similar. I mean,
I thought they swore
in the
off
press
that album.
release, on the press release, they would no, it's everything before that.
Oh.
Yeah.
they swore off Alaska.
So there won't be an Alaska 2 or Silent Circus 2.
No,
Or what was the
or
first
BT
one?
Bam 2.
Yeah, no, self-titled 2.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Jesus, fuck. Yeah, but I read in the press release because they were like, well, Colors was such a pivotal time for our band and really marked a change in sound and, a changed in
come
dynamic
on.
for the band. And we want to signify that with this. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But
No, your record sales haven't been as good since that album. And you're just trying to cash in on it. That's what that is. Twitch is
yeah, I don't
paying enough for
know.
them.
People still love that band, man.
I mean,
I
yeah, my
believe
mind
it.
is
Yeah,
open
yeah.
about it. I've listened to what I could from it. And I think it's fine. I don't know.
There was a new song they just dropped, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've heard that one yet.
I didn't hear it
I
either.
can't remember any titles off of Colors.
Colors, Ants of the Sky,
White
White
Walls.
Walls.
What if they just do that? Answer the Sky 2, White Walls 2.
They didn't. It's all different songs.
It
Nothing
should- yeah,
links. I don't
it doesn't. That's the thing is I was wondering if they were going to have some kind of similar. Maybe
There's gotta
the
be some
energy
sort
of
of
the Peaks and
weird-
Valleys like
Yeah.
sort of follow that. They probably have. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, man.
Just next time I go to Nashville, I want to hang out with Dusty, the guitar player. Whenever that is.
Please hang out with me.
Might not be for a
In
couple of
Nashville?
years. We have like a friend
they're
of
all
a
from
friend in
Carolinas.
common. No, he lives in Nashville.
No shit.
Yeah. But that
So
band
Rick to
is
hang out
based
with
out of
them.
North Carolina.
Yeah. Rick's in North Carolina. If you're
Oh,
Rick friends
sick.
with them.
Rick.
Hear that, Rick? Befriend the guys from BT Bam. if
Yeah.
you can. If they're there. I don't even know if they're still
And ask
there.
them why they did Colors too. Well, yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Very good. So, yeah.
All right, shout
Thanks,
out.
everybody. Check it out this week. And
Yeah.
we'll see you next week.
We will. Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Feel free to drop us a like or a comment on whatever platform you listen or watch us on. Share us on whatever social media you use. Every little bit counts, so we appreciate it. Thank you very much. And we'll see you guys next week.